want to be interviewed, Maki? Are you feeling up for it?
Yeah. Been thinking about it for the past couple of weeks, and yeah. I've dealt with a lot of death in the past 3 years, like nonstop. So.
Fuck, well, we're going to talk about. But first,
Yeah.
Waba's going to remember that they have an intro thing, and then they're going to mute all their sounds, including Maki, for like 3 minutes. So everyone, don't panic. Don't panic. But I'm going to play the intro video. It's not going to be me. It's going to be past Waba. And this is for the purpose of just literally highlighting it out and then exporting to YouTube. And then I only have to click like 3 buttons. And then copy paste titles and stuff. And then put Maki's links. And then it can be posted on Tuesday morning. And then everyone can watch it if you missed it live today. So you better get your questions ready for Maki. But yeah, here we go. If it works. Because, you know, it didn't work last time, but... Hello there, everyone. My name is Waba, and what you're about to watch is Mental Health Monday. It's a podcast that I do every single week, live on Twitch, link in the description below. We talk with 1 to 2 guests, sometimes 3, on a topic of the month, and purely I'm just asking them about their experience with this topic. Either they have personally gone through this or they have dealt with it in some manner in a personal way. The purpose of these talks is to bring education to others and to bring awareness to these issues, and that mental health is real, mental health matters, it's okay to not be okay, and more to the point, it's okay to talk about it, and it's okay to reach out for help. There's a lot that goes into Mental Health Monday. It's very intentional, and we have a bit of a check-in usually before the talks. In addition, I myself am trained as a mental health counselor. I have a master's in mental health counseling. Now, I never, ever, ever will claim that I am anyone's therapist online. I'm a mental health advocate, and I will share resources to the day I die. But as far as help goes, I highly encourage anyone out there to seek your own help. I have resources both on my Twitch page, but also in my Discord under resources, and highly encourage anyone to seek professional help if you are struggling with something that the people on my podcast are talking about with their experiences. In addition, they're raw, uncut, and unscripted. I usually have a few questions to kind of structure it a little bit, but we might go off the rails sometimes, have some casual conversations. Other questions might be asked, delving into details. All things considered, I put a content warning out there at the beginning of my talks usually, right before we jump into them. And it's just to say, hey, show some respect, towards the guests and their stories, first of all, obviously. But more importantly, if a topic comes up that might be potentially triggering, feel free to click off the video, feel free, to click off the stream, during the stream, or mute the tab, whatever, come back when you feel comfortable. I don't wish to trigger anyone, but I want these talks to be as unrestricted as possible so that folks can tell their story in their best words. Your discretion is advised, depending on the nature of the subject. So with that out of the way, I just want to welcome you into this video. Feel free to skip ahead as well. I'll put a timestamp in the description. And with that, enjoy Mental Health Monday, and welcome into the Waba fam, your mental health talk place and queer safe space. Take care. Hello.
Hello.
Should probably turn your camera back on. I tried to message you during the intro, but...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm like playing games on my phone. It's like my calming technique that I do.
I also keep neglecting to mention to folks, and I keep neglecting to mention it because I'm tired and it's Monday and work. But the segment before and after Mental Health Monday, I delete it. I take down the VODs. So hopefully that allows folks to be a little bit more open with their vents and stuff. But I put it out there on the Discord. I think a lot of people know, but maybe not everyone. But yeah, just letting y'all know.
Cool
So
beans.
we'll check in again after talks are over, if we have time. So, all right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Turn, for the compliment. By the way, Maki is looking so fucking pretty today.
Thank you.
Gosh darn socialite.
Because this bitch is tired, and I gotta hide the tiredness.
Maki, you can be tired. You're allowed.
Yeah, it just makes me feel good. It's like when I don't know, it's the things like when wearing makeup, when you look tired and you see yourself look tired, it psychologically fucks you up.
Yes.
So like making yourself look less tired allows you to like push along a little bit. So you feel good. If you look good, you feel good.
I feel that.
That's all. So.
All right, Maki.
So. Yeah, what's up?
So hi.
Hellos, I am Maki. Hellos.
Hellos. So this month we're talking on mental health related to grief and death. And you told me before that you have a lot of experience with this.
Oh yeah. Too much so. I don't even know how my partner even tolerated me throughout the times that I've like lost people.
What do you mean by that?
Tons and tons of breakdowns, a lot of crying, and a lot of shots. Thank you. My partner's here, so he says hi.
Hello.
It's each one hit differently, but I would say that at the exact same time, I'm sort of grateful for them, the ones that prior, because it helped me deal with the death of my mom and my dad a lot easier. They still traumatized the shit out of me, but
right.
I don't know, like after they died, losing my other family members right after, like I lost 2 family members this year already. I think 3. I lost 3 this year.
Jesus.
Yeah, one of my aunts just passed away like a couple weeks ago, and I did not cry. Like,
oh wow.
Like my past aunts that passed, I just did not cry.
How do you feel about that?
My aunt was not a great person, and I am happy that she's gone.
Hey, fair enough.
It's messed up to say that, but
no,
it's
trust me. I'm be happy with my mom when my mom is dead.
Right, like, so it's a lot of people think like, oh, that's so cold. That's like, no, if you've seen what my family has done to one another, you will say different. But my other aunts, one was really unexpected. She died from cancer. She didn't tell anybody that she had it.
Oh wow.
Which really took us really off guard. Like, we just buried my mom, and then like a year and a half later, she's gone now. Like, and she took in both of my sisters, took care of them like they were her own, because my mom couldn't take care of them. And then my other aunt died. My aunt, who was adopted, died as well, and she had Alzheimer's as well. Yeah. So definitely understand. It's just, I don't know, like I feel like when it comes to death, my family tends to reunite for a little bit, and then we all are close and buddy, but then after the funeral after the funeral love dissipates, everybody goes back to who they were all the time. It always happens, and it's just like, I'm just tired of it.
I fucking hate that for you. That's literally like the worst thing ever. That's like the fakest shit I've ever heard of.
It is like, I try to connect with my family. I try to like be
Right.
close to them, but
But
like,
no, it's not worth your emotional investment, it sounds like.
nah, I'm trying to like make chat groups with all like my cousins and like all my cousins around the exact same
Right.
age as me and my nieces and nephews and shit. And like, does anybody respond? Does anybody communicate? Nah, no. It
Nope.
dies so fucking quickly. It lasts for like less than a week and then it just dies off. So it's just like, I am tired. This is not my responsibility anymore.
Yeah,
So
it
yeah,
seems, it sounds like kind of one of those things where it's just like, oh, you never call anymore. It's like, bitch, well, you don't call me.
I know it
Phone
takes two.
phone works 2 days.
Yeah, I know it takes two. And for me with ADHD, out of mind, out of sight type of thing. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste my time reaching out to people who just don't care.
No,
And
I wouldn't.
especially who show their asses prior like they don't care, even though they say they do now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's my whole majority of my family are strangers to me. Even my sisters are strangers to me. I
Fair
grew up
enough.
alone. I grew up by myself with my mom. So I didn't know my oldest sister was my sister until I was 6 or 7. Same thing with finding out that my mom had sisters. And when I met them, I was like, oh shit, I did not know my mom had sisters. And they all looked at me and they were tall. They're tall, beautiful black women. And they was like, wait, your mom never told you about us? I'm like, no, never. And they all looked at each other like, what the fuck? So it was a really, really eye opener. And since I was so attached to my mom as a kid, every time I did go out or something happened, I used to just break out and cry all the time. I was a big, huge crybaby, and like nothing can stop me besides my mom. But then after a while, every time I cry, she'll beat me. So it's like a double entendre of like, if I cry, she's gonna make me cry more. So I don't know. I don't know where you want to go with this. I can literally go all over the place, but I guess we can have some structure. I don't know. It's a lot. Trust me. Like I've dealt with a lot. I dealt with enough. I've even lost friends. Um.
Maki, what kind of microphone do you have?
Oh. What am I going? Fuck no. A friend of ours gift this to us.
Because like sometimes you speak at a certain angle and it's perfect, but like you've only
Oh.
changed by like about an inch where your face is. So I'm like
Oh,
genuinely confused.
Yeah, because it's a mono.
So like where you're talking right now is perfect, but you move an inch to your right and then it's like muffled.
Oh, okay.
So right
Okay.
now
Then
you're
I'll just
super
stay put.
loud
Okay.
and like super
Hi.
clear. Hi.
Hello.
Hello and welcome to Maki ASMR.
Sorry. I tend to do that. I move around a lot when I'm talking about these things because this
No,
is
that's
how I
fine.
process stuff. I move to process.
I get that. I get that.
I get it, Teddy. Big hugs.
And I get that as well for you, Teddy. Yeah. Big fucking hugs.
Teddy, instead of listening to this, I just want to invite you to do something different. Change your where the status of where you are. Maybe not listen to this at this time and probably listen to some music that makes you happy and dance. You got to move your body. You got to shake this shit off as much as you can. That's just something that I want to invite you to try. And if it doesn't work, then you can go back, but try something different to get your brain out, brain and body out of this state. You got to move your body. Even just two-stepping. Just two-step or bobbing your head or do something different.
Feel free to also scream while dancing.
Yeah. Yeah. Scream. If you can, scream in a pillow. Punch a pillow. You got to let some of this stuff out. You just can't hold
If
it
you
in
have all
your
this
body.
energy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
Yeah. Just
Or
stuff that I've done. Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me to mute my alerts.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you. I knew something would happen. Nice 20-minute screaming session in the car. Nice.
Nice.
So the way I usually structure these talks is one, let's define it. Like obviously I think everyone knows what grief and death is and all that good stuff.
Mhm.
And then two is just like free form, what's your experience with this? So, you were saying before the talk that you had several family members die like basically in a row over the course of
Mhm.
so many years.
Mhm.
Was there any,
Um.
I,
Okay.
I
Go ahead.
I said that you said before that like you connected with some of them and like for some like you felt a lot, but for some like a lot it was just kind of like whatever.
Mhm.
So which one hit you the worst, you think?
My mom.
Yeah.
My mom hit me. Well, no. Um. My uncle.
Mm-hmm.
My uncle hit me the worst. Well, with that situation was really hard because I had basically
Just a
three
bit, Daddy.
people,
Just a bit.
just three people on the same month die. Found out that my coworker died from a car accident and left her children behind. One of my old coworkers, and then I reached out to one of my like middle school childhood close friend, and I reached out to see how she was doing, and she told me like she found her brother hanging the
Oof.
day that I text her. She just found her brother dead. She didn't tell me that he was hung. She told me that she found him dead. That's all she told me. And then I found out at his funeral what happened. And it was the exact same day that my uncle had his funeral. So like his memorial service, should I say. But yeah. Yeah. Then lost my uncle. He had c- um colon cancer. Apparently he
Mm-hmm.
had it, did not tell the family. He had like stage 10. It was pretty damn bad.
The
Or stage
heck?
8. Yeah, stage 8, stage 10.
And you
It
go up
was
that
bad.
high.
Yeah, it can go pretty high. Um he didn't tell anybody. He tried to like manage it like he was still doing stuff for the community. He was still doing stuff for stuff like he was still like finding ways to feed people and donate to people, and with while he was like having a piss bag attached to his at a piss catheter type of thing, piss bag on him. And he's the only, even though he did a lot of shit, he sold drugs, he did a lot of stuff, he was the only positive male influence in my life that taught me, who gave me my first bike, who really taught me how to like take care of my environment
Mm-hmm.
and also to give. And he was like this weird provider. Every time I got like good grades, he was giving me money for having good grades. Um like he was always there, and his place was always a fun place to go. Let's go to, ironically, my uncle was named Uncle Sam.
Oh my
Ironically.
God.
Ironically.
That's great.
But he was the best. Like we would
Yeah.
go to his place and we would play video games and like hang out. He had all the latest consoles and shit. It was fucking dope.
It's a nice
And
escape.
yeah, yeah. But downside is the fact that he was selling drugs to a lot of our family members to keep them off the street. Little did he know that
Mm.
that sort of caused the women in our family to be very abusive. So it was like, I understand like what he did was for the best that he can do in his control, but he also had his own issues and trauma. I found letters that he sent to my mom when he was in prison, and found letters that my mom completely ripped up after she died. And me and my cousin on my birthday last year, no, no, when COVID hit 2019 or
Yeah.
2020,
2020
2020.
is last year.
Her and I were sitting here drinking tequila and like playing freaking Harriet the Spy, trying to piece together the rip papers to read the letter that he wrote about
Mm-hmm.
their mother and their experience of what happened. And that was even like traumatic to read. Because apparently, like, they had to protect their mom because their dad was extremely abusive and was trying to kill their mom, which is my
Jesus.
grandmother.
Right.
And all the kids, and she had like 9 kids, and all of them had to participate and like involve themselves to stop him from killing her.
That's so messed up and traumatic for
Yes.
all those kids.
Yeah. This stuff is generational, just generational
Oh, it's
trauma.
always generational trauma.
So,
Especially with people of color. It's super generational.
yep. So, dealt with that. That was in 2000 and shit. I'm trying to remember times that happened. I think that was in 2018.
Yeah. What happened
It
in
was
2018? That he died?
so
Or
three
yeah.
people that I know close to me that died 2018. Then the next year, 2019. Um, actually, I
How would
forget.
you process his death? Like, how
I
was
didn't.
you didn't?
I did. I screamed. I was very pissed off at my mom because I told her to contact me, to text me or call me when he was going to have his burial. She never did
Oh
because
my
I wanted to
god.
be there for his burial. They just wrapped him up and clothed and buried him. And I had to find out photos online from his daughter.
Oh my god.
Like,
To
I just
figure out
want
where
to
his
just.
grave was?
No, I didn't go. I just saw a post right after. And I was so pissed. I was like, how dare you? And she just blamed me. She was like, well, you never answer my phone calls. I said, yeah, because you're a crazy bitch. You don't know how to sit here and be a normal person, not call me every fucking 5 minutes
Yeah.
and fill up my whole voicemail. I wanted to see Uncle Sam, and it just made me angry because she did the exact same shit when it was a close friend, but it was the same thing that she did with my cousin Tiny when he died. She did not want me to go to his funeral because he didn't look the same. And it's like, I don't give a fuck if he looked the same or not. I don't care. He came back from Vegas right after he visited us. It was during out Christmas time, actually, during out December. Came to
Right.
visit us from Vegas, and then we found out the next day he got shot several times in the head.
What the
So,
fuck? For what?
because people assumed that he had money when he didn't, because he came back from Vegas.
Oh my
And there was
god.
people living around his grandmother's house who assumed that he had money, and they chased him behind his grandma's house and killed him. So
That's so fucked.
that one, his death took me over 10 years to get over. Because he was my big brother. He was the one that protected me from my mom. He kept her distracted from abusing me. He loved the food that I cooked, and he used to chase me around the house all the time. He was like my big brother. And his death really fucked me up for years because the day that he died, it was a really weird day. I was in middle school, and I think I was in not eighth grade. I was in middle school. I'm just losing track of like how many years is in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it was eighth grade. It was 7th to 8th grade, and it was a perfect day. It was too perfect. People who bullied me didn't bully me that day. Everybody was nice to me.
Right.
Classes were easy. I'm like, what the fuck? And I
Yeah,
knew
what's
something was
going on?
off. I was
What's
like,
going
what
on?
the fuck? This is weird.
Someone knows something I don't.
Like, something's off. And
Right.
then usually I'm used to my mom pulling me out of school early because she used to do that all the time.
Sure.
And I went downstairs because the dean called me downstairs. It's like, that's weird. Usually somebody comes up and gets me, and they just want me to go by myself. Like,
Right. That's weird.
that's a bit suspicious. And then I went downstairs to sit on the bench, and the woman's like, oh, your mom is outside. I was like, they don't let anybody go outside. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And I left outside and saw my mom walk up to me, and she was crying. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like, my mom, only seen my mom cry 3 times in my entire life.
Wow, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I seen her cry when I was 5. I've seen her cry when he died. And I seen her cry when, like, I had a boyfriend. My first boyfriend.
Why did she hide her tears from you? That's so fucking weird.
Because Black women have to be strong. Black women have to be strong.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So when she did that, I actually
which is generationally traumatizing in of itself, by the way, as a statement.
Yeah, I'm
Fucking
like,
hell.
yeah. She walked up to me and she was like, Tiny's dead. I'm like, I start laughing. I was like, you're fucking with me. Like,
Right.
you're really fucking with me. Good joke, mom. Good joke. Like, I went hysterical. I
Yeah.
usually go hysterical at first. That's how I process trauma, especially with death. I laugh first. I can't control it. Just laugh is like laughing, denial, and then complete breakdown. She was like, no. And she told me in detail what happened. It was right. And like the one that hit me the most is the fact he left our house.
Yeah.
He
Shit.
left our house, and my mom was like, she knew that she felt like I should never left him leave,
Yeah.
but he wanted to leave. He needed to go to see his grandma, whatever. And I'm just like, and she was like, I should never let him go. And then apparently that night, my uncle called. He's like, is Tiny at your place? And she was like, yeah,
No.
he just left. And he was like, fuck, you should have just kept him there because he knew something was up.
Hmm.
Um,
He knew that people were after him.
yeah, yeah.
So fucked.
So,
Like man, I hate to like do like a callback a little bit, but like I literally heard a fucking again a cast. I listen to a lot of NPR in the car, and I drive a lot
mhm,
around a lot for my job. But they were
mhm,
literally talking about like, look at the circumstances that's created that people think that this is like a right way to like settle disputes or whatever or
mhm.
differences. Just like gun violence. Like what the fuck? Because like up here in Albany, like we have so many gun deaths that happen
Yeah,
like at least once a
yeah.
month. Like I'll hear about like, oh yeah, this person was killed on Second Street, and like that's not too actually far from where I live, all
That's
things
fucking
considered.
terrifying.
It
Yeah.
is pretty terrifying. Like when my roommate used to work at the freaking CVS downtown, like literally around the corner was a gang shooting, or was like just a violent dispute, and like a lot of
Yeah.
people misattribute it to games, and it's not always games. It's just like that's how people grew up. That's the way they are. They don't have the fucking resources, so they
Nope.
think like this is the way to settle shit.
Mhm.
It's with guns, and I'm like, what the
Yep.
fuck?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Um so yeah, after finding that out, I cried for days. I cried for days to the point where
Yeah,
it pissed off my mom, and she was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you in
pissed.
love with him or something?"
What the fuck? I hate her. I hate your mom.
Of course you do, because I did too. I loved her and hated her. But she, like, I cried for a whole week. I could not stop crying, and she just made fun of me for it. And I used to, like, wake up with dreams of
That's
him
so
visiting
fucked.
me to let me know that he was okay.
Aw.
But then after he died, my aunt Deborah died,
Yeah.
like, a couple weeks later, like, at least a week to 2 weeks later, and
Jeez.
she died at the park, and she had a stroke, and somebody stole her information. Like, she was homeless, and she had a stroke, and like somebody jacked a dead body. And
Great.
I loved her too, and I was close to her as well because she taught me how to love animals. Even though she was a
Aw.
hardcore drug addict and got her daughter hooked on drugs, as she got older, she got more softer and more aware of her conditions, I guess, sort of. I don't know,
Yeah.
but she had a really deep love for animals, and she taught me how to have that too. And she really loved kittens, and it fucked me up. So I used to have dreams of them visiting me both a lot for months after they passed. When it comes to people passing, and
Yeah.
I'm very sensitive and intuitive, so a lot of spirits visit me in my dreams. So
That's all. It's kind of
um,
cool,
it's kind of cool, but
but
then
I'm
it's
sure
just you
it's like
wake.
haunting as well.
It's very haunting.
Yeah.
And annoying sometimes,
Yeah.
especially if people you don't want there. It's like, why are you here? Go, okay, you're said, you sorry, bye. You've done your job, okay. And I'll get into that. But
Mm-hmm.
I had to go to a psychic, like a spiritualist, to help me process and like get rid of my attachment to him, to help him move on, because as much I was attached to him, he was attached to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he left a son behind as well. And
Mm-hmm.
it just really messed me up. Um, After I saw that specialist, I stop feeling his presence so much. He still pops up in my head, but it doesn't hit me as strong. Um,
I understand.
it still chokes me up a little bit talking about it, but it's not as bad as it used to be.
Right.
The pain never goes away. I
No, it
still
doesn't.
miss him.
Of
I
course.
still miss him to this day. I wish he still was alive. He didn't
Absolutely.
deserve to have his life to be taken in that
No.
violent way.
No.
Um,
And it's worse when it's like that, you know?
mhm.
Because, like, when it comes to, like, a medical thing, it's like, all right, well, like, shit, it sucks, but it's medical. Like, it's no one's real fault, you know?
Right.
Shit happens.
But when it's
But when
murder,
it's murder, it's like, damn, like, he didn't even get a chance at a full life.
no, I think he was like in his like late 20s.
What the? He was super young.
Yeah, he was
Oh my
super
god.
fucking young. Super young. Mid to late 20s. He was super fucking young. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
Too soon.
Yeah. So that was that. Then it was and even before then I lost friends. They
Yeah.
actually created a whole law for one of my friends called the Jamel Law. And
Really?
even like Ice Cube sung a song about him
Are you
because
serious?
mm-hmm.
7 degrees of
Because
separation. There we go.
there we go.
Yeah.
It
Damn.
was during at the time that I was isolating myself because I had a shitty boyfriend at the time during high
Mm-hmm.
school. One of my friends that I knew, he was murdered down the street from me, and it was somebody who crossed the border and was trying to get his stripes, whatever. And
Mm-hmm. What does
usually,
that
like,
mean?
get his stripes is mean like basically getting into a gang by killing somebody.
Okay, got you.
Um, so he ran
Understandable.
up, yeah, like he ran up to him. He was walking home. He was on the phone with his girlfriend, and I knew his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And he had this Spider-Man backpack because he loves Spider-Man. He loves Spider-Man, so he always wore his Spider-Man backpack. And he got approached by this Latino guy who jumped the border, and he's like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "I'm not from anywhere. I'm from this area." Like, what? Like, I'm on the phone with my girlfriend. Like, he just like he wasn't a gangbanger. He wasn't a Philly. He was a freaking class clown. He was into football. Like, he was just a fun fucking kid, and the dude killed him right on the phone on the phone with his girlfriend. And I didn't even know that he died until like I saw majority of my old friends were all dressed in black holding his obituary, and I could not even participated because I isolated myself because I was with an extremely abusive boyfriend at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I tried to mourn about it, my mom didn't understand because she didn't give a fuck. Try to mourn about it over to my boyfriend, and the same response that I got from my mom, I got from Tiny. He was like, "What? Did you like him or something? Was you in love with him?" I'm just like, "What? I can't mourn for a fucking friend? Go fuck yourself." I'm just like, "Shit, man." It's
Is your
like,
mom dead?
yeah, she is.
Good.
It's just like boyfriend at the time said the exact same shit that she did when I lost my cousin. But
Oh my god.
it shows you that once you are in an abusive relationship with
Abusers have
someone,
the same fucking script.
you tend to attract an abusive relationship right afterwards, and it's
True.
a pattern till you realize it and break it. After
Yep.
him, I broke it. I was like, I'm not dealing with this shit anymore. But granted, I dealt with other forms of abuse instead of physical. I dealt with a lot of emotional and mental abuse, which I had to break as well.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I've lost a lot of people throughout the years, but these past couple years has been brutal. From my uncle to my aunts, and then my mom who died. I stopped talking to my mom. So it was in 2019. I got tired of fighting and arguing with my mom. I was like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we should talk anymore.
Good on you.
I'm tired. I'm done. And I talked to my oldest sister about it. She was like, you know what? Do what you need to do. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of mom. Like, it's my turn now.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, whatever. Thank you. And I told her, it's like, man, I just know I told her, like, I have a feeling that she's gonna go before I'm able to really process everything. And she told me, like, you know what, that's a risk.
Yeah.
That is the risk you're gonna have to take. And I'm just like, I know. And I knew it. And like, kid you not, 3 to 5 months later, she died.
Damn it.
Hey, what's up, Potch?
Hey, Potch. I saw you. I love you, man.
Love yours. So she died. And it was weird because I felt her. I literally felt her. She was like, the other ones I've been heartbroken.
Heavy.
But her and I were so attached to the point where we had a telepathic connection. Like, even though I stopped talking to her for months, I would still hear her scream in my dreams, calling my name, trying to get my damn attention. Like, we had a psychic connection.
Her spirit was still there with you.
Mm-hmm. And like,
just haunting you.
Yeah, she threatened me too. She was like,
I'm sure.
I'm haunt you. I'm just like, of course you are, because you're a crazy bitch.
You're a fucking crazy bitch. Yeah.
Just
Maki.
So, yes.
I hate to break your story for like but a moment, but like fucking hell, dude, girl.
Yeah.
I want to like. I'm like crying a little bit, honestly, for you, because like.
Don't.
No, yes, do cry good. Maki, have you cried? When's the last time you've cried?
Of course, I've like cried last week. I cried last week. And I was having like breakdowns of other shit.
Okay.
So like I've cried.
I needed to ask that, Maki. I needed to ask that of you because
it's okay.
How the fuck do black women stay strong, Maki?
You tell me.
God, I don't know how the fuck y'all do it. Like, goddamn, please cry.
You tell me. Trust me, I've cried too damn much. I've literally cried too many tears.
Maki, I just want you to know, like, if I meet you IRL, I'm gonna give you like the biggest fucking strongest hug, and you're gonna have to peel me from you. Like, goddamn.
I'm good.
I feel for you so hard right now.
I love you.
In this moment.
I love you. But no, like it's
like you hold a lot of trauma, man, and that's.
It's like, a lot of It's a lot of trauma that I had to release. And I'll go through some resources that I've went through to help me get over it too, to get past it.
Of course.
But yeah.
Back to the story. Your mom was haunting you.
Well, she was haunting me before she died.
Well, of course, but I mean after she died as well.
Yeah. So when she died, it was weird because I usually have a lot of anxiety. At the time I was working in finance, I was having a lot of anxiety getting ready for work, and I was sleeping out in the living room because sometimes me and my partner switch off. Back then we used to switch out, sleep in the living room or sleep in the bedroom. And he was at work and I was trying to get up for work, and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I'm like, yo, like I checked in with myself. I was like, yo, like what's wrong? Is something coming up? Like I know I need to go to work. I'm just like, whatever, just like what is going on? And I couldn't breathe. And my heart was pounding, and then out of nowhere it just dissipated. Like after 30 minutes it dissipated.
Yeah.
Was on the bus and I was talking to my homegirl from junior high, and like her and I were just talking about all of our plans and stuff. And then my niece calls me. Apparently I missed a phone call from my older sister right when I got off, like right when I was about to get off the bus. She calls me. She was like, yo, Kathy's gone. I'm like, what do you mean gone? Do you mean like walked out the house, disappeared, gone? Like, did she walk somewhere? Because it's like, that's what she did. She used to walk everywhere and just disappear without telling nobody. She's like, I'm out. Like, she would just go. I'm like, did she leave or walk out the house? She's like, no, she's gone. She's dead. I was like, oh, okay. She was like, you need to call my mom, which is my older sister. And I call my older sister, and she is a fucking wreck. She was screaming. She was having like a tantrum. Like she was losing it. And I was calming her down. I was so much in shock. Like I wouldn't even say shock. Like when
Oh,
she told me, like, I was just like, fuck, I knew it. And I was like, and I
yeah.
had to ask her, like, how long was it ago when she died? She was like 2 to 3 hours ago. It's like, that was that feeling. That was that feeling. Okay. And I like was sitting there, you know, calming down my sister, trying to
Yeah.
like, it's okay, just breathe, it's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
So I called my partner and he's like, I was like, yo, my mom died. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, my mom died. He's like, are you okay? It's like, right now, I guess I'm in shock,
Yeah.
but just call my sister, trying to calm her down. And I'm sitting outside my job before going into a training. And then he was like, do you want me to pick you up? I was like, no, I need normality. I need to be
Yeah.
normal. I just need to have things just go. And like right when I walked in, everybody was like, "Oh my god, congratulations, Maki! Congratulations on your sale!" and blah blah.
Oh my
Everybody's high
god.
fiving me, and my whole response was like, "My mom died." And they're both all their face, like every person I told that, their face dropped, and like my brain was like, "Oh, is that the response I'm supposed to have?" And this is before I got on
Oh
medication,
my
by the way,
god.
on ADHD medication, by the
Maki,
way.
I
So
fucking my autistic ass feels for you right now. Cause I've literally had that happen before. I'm like, oh, is that how people respond to that?
like my brain was like, I literally was like, a part of me wanted to
Oh
reach
my
out to him, and I was like, is that the emotion I'm supposed to have?
Right.
Like, but I stopped myself because I was like, all right, I'm already weird enough, and I'm already telling people my mom died, and like my coworkers were like, yo, like my business partner, he was like, yo, you need to go home. I was like, no, I need normality. I need to be here. So I sat out in front so I wouldn't cry in the back. And like, I kid you fucking not, right when I'm sitting in front of like our CEO talking about training and stuff, all I heard was my mom in my head apologizing to me the whole time.
Was she
I
actually
heard,
sorry?
yeah,
Damn.
I heard her. I heard every bit of what she was saying. Like, it was a feeling and like an inner voice that wasn't my own, and I heard her. And it took everything inside of me not to cry. And then my sister called, and she's still freaking out. She's with our mom and like looking at her dead body, and she can't find her insurance papers. And for some reason, my damn phone, like my mom texts me months prior of the insurance provider that she had, the name, the phone number, and for some reason my fucking stupid phone deleted the damn message. I couldn't find it for shit to save my life.
God
So I
damn.
had to sit here and guide my sister through like I haven't seen my mom in a year or two, and I still knew my mom enough to know that she probably has it in her purse. If you find her purse is full of fucking papers, you can like mostly find it. Make sure you look at insurance or something of that sort. And like as she's crying and going through trauma and the paramedics is there, she's like flipping out. I was like, you need to breathe and you need to go do this, this, and this, and this. I was asking my coworker, my business partner at the time, my upline, I was like, okay, what is the things that I need to have? What are some things that she needs to have to make sure that we have the paperwork to go through the process of processing her death certificate and stuff? And he was guiding me through it while I was sitting here talking to my sister. And it was tough. It was really tough. And like we went out. So since my business partners felt bad for me, and my partner came, and we went out to go get sushi. And I just wanted to have normal. I just wanted to be normal just for that night, for the rest of that night. So by the time I went home, I fucking broke down and cried. I also talked to my other sister, and she was in Greece. My other sister, my artist, she was in Greece doing art pieces, and she felt our mom doing a more artistic way, more so than a painful way. And like, we all felt her in all different ways. And my sister was just laughing at how I became the support sister, the grounded person throughout all of us. And it's like it was a like running joke that how is a baby sister, but I'm like the big sister. It's a running joke for years, and I'm still the baby sister, but the big sister.
You still keep in contact with all of them? Or
My
some of your
second
sisters?
older sister, yes. I've
Mm-hmm.
been going through this Black Dysparia recovery underground for people of color only, and a group that my sister made to help those recovering from all addictions and also abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been going to these meetings so often on Saturdays, and I can tell you right now, facing my fear of Black people, facing my fear of abuse from people of color, it's hitting me. It's a new journey that I'm on to heal.
That sounds
And
like a
that's
new way to
where,
heal.
yeah, that's where I cry. That's the area that I cry in, is healing my
Yeah.
love for myself and the love for people of color instead of fearing them. Um, so I'm going through that process now. But during at the time with my mom, like we set up a funeral. Oh God.
Hold on.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to pause you for a minute and a half for ads.
Cool.
Alright. Sorry. I'll be right back. Minute and a half. I'm gonna ask a life changing question. So Maki, what's the meaning of life? Click ad. Go. Minute and
Meaning
a
of
half.
life.
Yeah, minute and a half. Meaning of life. Let's go.
Meaning of life.
Yeah.
Experience. Meaning of life. Experience. That's all I got. Is an experience, and nothing can exist with life and death without life and death.
Life cannot exist without death.
Yeah, no, meaning of life cannot exist without life and death. And it's an experience. It's a confusing one, but it's an experience. And it's painful.
It is. I think the meaning of life is suffering. And finding our own meaning in the suffering.
Yeah. Or I could say meaning of life is hell. We're living in hell. Literally. So, but it's all about perspective. It's experience, perspective, and life could not exist without both. It's what is every single mechanism and cell thrives upon.
Yeah. I feel like life is what you make of it, but at the same time, I feel like we go through multiple lifetimes where we might be in a heaven reincarnation, but there are times we might be in a hell reincarnation.
Within my Buddhist practice, what they teach is about the 10 worlds. It's like a lot of 10 worlds. You
I
can
love
be in
Buddhism.
this state, you can be in the state of hell, but you can also experience it at 9. You can be in the state of 9 different spaces. You can be experiencing hell and having a fantastic time. You can be happy and be in the worst situation possible.
Yeah.
So it all depends on your perspective and how you face yourself at the end of the day. It's how you face and like get through the fear, get through the pain, get through it. It's all about getting through. It's all about fighting the internal war.
There's a lot of struggle that goes on in life, honestly. Thematic. Meaning of life is to be you and enjoy that you're perfectly you and embrace who you are each day. I like that, Potch.
Me too. I like that, Potch. So where was I?
Mom's funeral.
All right, so mom's funeral. So
I was sneaking
before we
onion
get
rings in the break.
no, you're good. You're good. To even get to mom's funeral, I talked to my dad at the time because my dad was still alive, and I was like, "Yo, I know this might be out of the way, but would you like to join me at my mom's funeral?" And he was like, "Of course. She birthed you. Of course, I gotta be there." He was a shitty person at times. He done some really shitty things, but man, he was a great man. He had a heart of gold, and it's like that's where I got my heart from because I definitely damn well did not get it from my mama.
Right.
So he went with me, Little did I know the motherfucker was addicted to opioids because of his fucking knee.
Oh my god.
So my sister
I
had
did want to
to
ask about that. It's a little bit relevant because different drug addictions kind of do slightly different things to you. But like, what was it that your uncle was selling to your family mostly?
shit that like I know. Only thing I used to see is crack pipes all the time.
Oh my god.
Crack pipes all the time.
From my unfortunate, very personal experience with a client that was addicted to crack, I saw a lot of anger with it.
Oh yeah,
manic anger.
Oh, my mom used to tweak like no other. She will like come in my room and tweak and then talk to me in my sleep, talking about shit that doesn't exist.
Right.
She will have these space out episodes and then try to like find drugs or find shit in my room, and then she will like pick things up and try to taste shit that's on the floor. It was weird. But then when she came down, she used to have severe anger, and then she would drink. When she comes down, she would drink. So she was a very violent drunk. Super fucking violent. But she was the chillest as fuck when she found weed. When she was able to get some decent clean weed, she was chill as fuck. So chill. I was like, why couldn't you just done weed? Like, why just
be a weed head, please?
Be a fucking pothead. I can at least deal with that. Like, I can't deal with this like tweaking mother and then next you know a freaking like angry fucking demon attacking me every fucking 5 seconds in my sleep. Like she was horrid. She was very, very horrid. But when it came to my dad, he came out of my sister's room because he was in so much pain from his knee because he got shot in his leg by being at the wrong place at the wrong time. A fucking bullet ricocheted through his knee.
Oh my god.
He got a botched surgery, so his knee was fucked up for years.
Right.
And this knee got really badly infected to the point where it swelled up like this big.
Holy shit.
It got so gross. And like me and my mom was sitting in his car and it smelled like pus. It was gross. And I was just like, Dad, you got to figure. And like, he wouldn't amputate his leg. He wanted to keep his leg. And so he went with us. Little did I know that he didn't bring any medication because it was a lot of shit. Because during the time, it was like during what's the holiday? Is it Memorial's Day or Veterans Day or some shit like that?
Which month?
During November. During November.
November is Veterans Day, I think.
Yeah, so we were supposed to bury my mom on a Monday.
Yeah, Memorial's Day is in May or whatever. March.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she died in November. So we was supposed to bury her on Monday, but shit was closed down and we had to wait till the next day, and we didn't embalm her. So her body was deteriorating. So we went to, luckily enough, somehow my mom was still part of like the mosque because she was my mom was Muslim. A lot of my family was Muslim, Nation of Islam. And she basically married somebody at the time she signed up as a member, and thank goodness she did because they covered her burial. They covered everything.
That's wild.
Which is great because we couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And
funerals are fucking expensive for no goddamn
yeah,
reason.
they are. And what they do, they put you in binds and clauses where you barely can get out of. So I'm not going to get on that. That's another story. But my sister was stressed out. We needed to bury. She wanted to have a routine with her mom. She wanted to like bathe her mom and like help the ladies wrap her up. But since we was running out of time, she couldn't even do that. And like dealing with my dad. So the day that we found out, the night before, it was fucking hell. So me and my sister are smoking weed to process what's happening. My sister's having multiple breakdowns and crying, and I'm trying to comfort her. And then my dad comes out and he was like, do you guys have any pain meds? Like I didn't bring my stuff. I was like,
oh my God.
He was like, I'm addicted to painkillers. I was like, you could have told me this before we came, Dad. Like, why
was he using
you do this?
was he doing it like heroin, or was he just like popping pills?
Pills, popping pills.
Pills, man, pills.
Oh no, he was doing heroin.
Oh, he was
he was doing meth.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a fucking leap.
Yeah, found out later.
Heroin to
This,
meth?
not heroin. He never did heroin. He did meth. Like he
Right.
um found out
So fucked.
this year
Yeah.
that from my sister on my dad's side. She told me. So he was still doing hard drugs and to get rid of the pain. It was all because of pain. He was like sweating. He was
Yeah,
tall,
I'm
skinny
sure.
man. Like I am a spitting image of him, just a chick.
Really.
And
That's
he was
wild.
tall and skinny and sweating. And my sister had to sit here. He's like, "Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? I have to sit here and bury our fucking mother. And now this shit, your dad, you fucking." She did not want to contact the people she had to contact. She like left these people alone for a long time. And she was like, fuck. So we had to do like this weird drug exchange type of thing just for him to get some damn painkillers to keep him calm from fucking flipping out.
Oh my god.
So dragging him to the funeral, and then Crawler basically drove because we couldn't figure out if we needed to leave or stay because everything was all fucked up. So Crawler drove halfway to Arizona, and then I was like, no, go back home. Just go back home. So he drove halfway to Arizona and then had to go drive all the way back. And then he had to come back out the next day after work, straight after work, after 6 to 8 hours of work. He had to drive to Arizona to make sure that he can like come with us. So it was hell, but she had a beautiful burial. And then something happened with the GPS, with our GPS. And before I had to run to her body before they put her in the ground because the GPS fucked up, you know. But she's buried in Arizona in this Islamic open cemetery where people you can either just put a gravestone or you can actually plant them as a tree. Like it's a beautiful,
That sounds
beautiful.
pretty cool, actually.
She doesn't really deserve it.
Yeah.
But I give it to her. It's whatever. She's 6 feet in the ground. But so we had a beautiful memorial service for her, everything. And what pissed me off, I found out like a week later after the funeral, we found out that she called child services on my niece because she was accusing my niece that the fact that she was being abusive and not taking care of her children, which was a fucking lie. So, and then my niece couldn't even process what the fuck happened, and she was trying to piece together all the shit because like she was hearing our mother pray to keep her alive a little bit longer, and like all these things, all these weird spiritual coincidences kept happening during at the time when she passed away. And I'm just like, and she was watching my great niece at the same time when she passed, like when she died. When my niece found her, she had to like break into the window because she saw her daughter run around the house naked. And next thing you know, like by the time she got in the house, my great niece, her daughter, was sitting on top of my mom's chest on the floor. So, and her body still haunts my niece and haunts my sister. I'm just grateful that I did not see our mom's body because I wouldn't know how I would respond.
Right.
I would not know. So apparently she called me. Like I still have voicemails of my mom till this day, and I can't listen to all of them. Because so basically when she was in LA, she had a lot of connections to get certain type of drugs. When she moved out to Arizona, and when that was a battle to get her ass out in Arizona, she cleaned up. She was cleaning up a little bit. And what happens when you stop doing drugs that your body is accustomed to, your body tends to break down. So her body was breaking down. She was getting bigger. She couldn't walk anymore. She couldn't do a lot of things anymore. And she called me and like was saying she was just really calm. Apparently she talked to my dad. She talked to my aunt, a couple of my aunts, and everybody was like, yeah, she sounded normal. She sounded like she was finally there. Like it was the first time I actually ever heard her that she was there. And it's like, I sort of have resentment because I will never be able to see that part of her.
Yeah. I'd be a little bit resentful too. Like fucking hell, Mom.
I spent all these years with this fucking crazy ass woman, and you're telling me like y'all bitches get the last bit of her when I decide to not fucking talk to her anymore. And then like my niece was like telling me how she was really attached to her daughter. My mom was attached to her daughter a lot because she reminded my mom of me. And a lot of time, like I think it was my niece or my sister said that my mom died from a broken heart because I wasn't around, because she really wanted me to come out there to see her in Arizona. It's like, I need a break from you. I need a break. I need to be away from you to live my life, because after moving out from her, I was depressed for 3 years trying to process not only a breakup but also getting away from my mom and all the trauma that she left me with. So yeah, we couldn't do, like, the thing with my mom, when we try to do things good for her, she will fuck it up somehow, some way. And she did it again right after her death. I was like, damn, woman, you damn well know how to sit here and live a fucking life. Good job for you. Good job for being a horrible person to life, to death. But over time, she did haunt me in my sleep. I was having dreams about her visiting me. And the dream that I had that stood with me for a very, very long time is I was in a white room with her, and she was laying down in this white bed, and I was like sitting next to her, and she was going back through like memory lane of all the things that we did, and she was telling me never to be addicted to anything. And she told me to tell my niece not to be on drugs. And it was like a long conversation, and I remember somebody was with me in the room. He felt familiar, felt like somebody that I knew, but he stepped out and he left the door open. It was like a hallway, and like the hallway's purely white, and I saw a door across, and it was like beaming white light. And she looked out the door and she was like, yeah, it's time for me to go. And she said sorry. She said sorry for everything once again. And I just laid down my head next to her hands next to her body, and she just disappeared. And I saw her eyes. I saw my mom's eyes. And something I did not tell my oldest sister, which I know is going to end up coming soon because her and I are not talking. I went to the next room and found my older sister in the next room. So I think eventually my older sister's going to pass away too. And she's just like her mom. So,
Addicted.
Yeah. Eventually, she's out in Georgia, but hopefully she lives a better life. Hopefully, I don't know. But her and I stopped talking a while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then 10 months and 6 days, like literally 10 months and 6 days. Like my dad died on the 6th of August. 10 months later, he died. And that's because he got a blood transfusion. He got hepatitis C from the blood transfusion.
How does that happen? They test the blood.
Well, this is what happened. Even though you might be even though you might get a blood donor with cleaning out your blood, because his knee was so infected, the infection sort of traveled throughout his body. But sometimes what happens, sometimes the body doesn't accept the new blood, and it causes hepatitis C.
I see. Okay.
And usually the best solution is to have a family member with the exact same blood type to transfuse the blood with, instead of a complete stranger. Found out my aunt, who is a sister, is a Jehovah's Witness, and she refused to give a blood transfusion because it was against her religion.
Happy for her.
So she tries to hit me up sometimes out of the blue, and it's like, I don't want to talk to you. You sort of killed my dad. Like,
yeah.
I don't hate you, I don't hate you like as much as I should hate you,
Yeah.
but don't talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't talk to me, because your ass could have saved my dad. And like we could have convinced him to get an amputation. He still would have been alive and healthy. But he died too. And luckily I was able to get to know him a little bit before he died.
I'm glad you did.
Me too, because him and I were extremely alike. So when he died, I had a rush to get to his body too. Somehow my Uber got the wrong address, took me someplace else. I had to fucking struggle to get to his body.
Similar experiences.
Yep.
It's odd.
And I was
Coincidences.
I had a dream of my grandma on his side before I saw his dead body. It was literally 2 days prior, and I had my grandmother talk to me and was showing me like land, showing me pictures of her, how she looked before. And right when I'm like meeting like some of my family members, my other aunts on my dad's side for the very first time, while like was sitting with his body. And she was showing me one of my aunts, I think Cheryl, she was just showing me all the family photos, our heritage. Somewhere I have a great grandmother or great great grandmother that's fucking Irish. Like I was like, because I was doing my 23andMe, I was like, where is this Irishness coming from? Is it coming from my mom's side or my dad? Like I have no idea where this, and I found it. It was my dad's side.
Wild.
So she was telling me all the stories about how our family line sort of like happened, and I was seeing photos and I freaked out. I was hyperventilating because the photos that she was showing me, I saw them in my dream 2 days prior.
That's fucking wild. I'd freak out
2
too.
days 2 days prior, I was like, yo, my intuition is way too intense for me to even fucking handle right now. I can't even process this. Like,
that's crazy. Spiritual
it
connection.
it was too much. And then we were waiting for my other brother that I have not met ever since 2016. I met my brother 2 years. Anyways, the day that I was supposed to meet my brother, my other brother, my brother John, I met him on the day our dad was dead. But him and I immediately had a bond. And it's because him and I both went through very similar experiences with our mothers, like to nearly a T. But he's a bit older. I'm the baby on both sides. But yeah, like sitting with my dad, I heard him too. And he's like, I'm just happy that I was able to bring all of you together.
Damn.
I'm happy. Like, that's what he told me. Like, I'm happy that I was able to bring you all together before I died. So,
that's sweet. It's bittersweet.
It is. I'm happy he's not in pain anymore. I do wish he was still here so I get to know him, but man, he was a pain in my ass too. In a completely different way.
Right.
Completely different way. But yeah. And I just know that I would never sit with a dead body ever again. I sat with his body for 2 hours.
Wow.
I touched a dead body because we had to take off his jewelry.
Oof.
And I'm a spitting image of him. It felt like I was staring at myself.
That's some horror game shit, except it's real life. That's so fucking, it's haunting.
So it really put in perspective who, like, I kept asking myself after my parents died, like, that's when I started Twitch. That's around this, when my dad died, it was, when I found out that he died, it was literally right after I got off of streaming. Like,
wow.
Like 10 minutes later, right when I stopped streaming, my sister called me. It's like, Dad is gone.
Fucking hell.
It's like, fuck. I was like, oh, thank goodness I stopped streaming before this happened.
Right. Good Lord.
So I was still up in my streaming makeup and gear when I like ran to him. And yeah, it was and I had dreams about with him, but it's mostly him bitching and complaining a lot.
That's
That's what I'm saying.
annoying.
Like, yeah, like with my mom, she would visit me in my dreams occasionally. Like,
Yeah.
it was weird when she did visit my dreams. She was like introduced me to her new place. She was showing me her new apartment. We had that moment inside the white room. But then at certain points, she would just be in the background. She would just be lurking in the background. Like that would just be my mom. But my dad would just complain about shit. I remember a dream with him where I was getting on the bus and I was telling like, Dad, get on the fucking bus. He's like, no, I don't want to. Like, where's my fucking car? Like, I don't like, where's my car? I was like, your car's broken down, Dad. Let's get on the bus. And he was just bitching the whole time. I was just like, oh my fucking God, I just can't deal with this. Like, whatever. He popped up in and out of my dreams, but it was like,
What?
it was just random. It was just really random. But yeah. So I don't really see my dad in my dreams anymore, but my mom still visits me on occasionally. She just lurks in the background. But I've been having dreams of having these weird family reunions of like seeing relatives and us sitting in a group meeting and talking about our history, talking about like just different types of family members. And the last dream that I had with my mom is her sitting next to me and her wanting to cuddle, which is something my mom would never do. And seeing my uncle happy and like seeing some of my family members smile and like it was like the family that I always wanted. Super affectionate, super loving, and it was very interesting. But I've been having that's another thing. Before my aunt died, my aunt Ava died, I had a dream of my uncle Sam and my mom and my other aunts that passed away and my aunt Atheline. Like we're all in this room and I could see the destruction of the world. Like you could see spirits, demons destroying the world and stuff. And like all I heard from my uncle was like, we need to get her out. We need to get her out right now. And then next you know, she passed away.
Wow.
So I have very intuitive dreams. Yeah.
You're very connected to the spirit world.
Extremely. I used to pass people over all the time. I used to astral project all the time. I probably still do, but a lot of times I don't remember it. Yeah, like with our dad, with my brothers and sisters, with my sister and my brothers, we look like him. All of us look like our dad in different ages. Like he will, like as a kid, my brother Michael will look like him, and then as a teenager, my other brother would look like him, and then like at a different age, like my sister would look like him, and then at another age I would look like him. So my dad had different looks to him, and we all resemble him at different ages when he was younger.
Yeah.
So definitely can relate, Jeffrey. Yeah. When it comes to my other family members, not so much. My cousin tends to have other like spiritual dreams too, and she would call me. She was like, "Girl, I had a dream about your mom," or like our aunt Angeline. Like I don't know what the hell's going on, and she freaks out. And last time we talked was a couple of weeks ago when our aunt Deneen died. And she was like, you know what this means? Where I'm like, what? She was like, that means that we're the aunts that have to be responsible for all this. It's like, damn, you're right. And then I talked to my partner. He's like, no, you don't. You don't need to be responsible for anything. You're not close to them. It's like, you're right. I don't need to be. I could still live my own life. I'm not responsible. I don't have kids. I'm not close to anybody to be responsible for this shit. Like, I'm trying to heal my trauma and trying to break this generational curse that we fucking have. And that's it. Like, we're constantly, like, I could see it. Like, our family's repeating the exact same pattern in a certain way. Like, some of us are breaking a pattern, but the pattern of never being close, it's gonna still last forever because we never was raised that way. We never been raised to be close, and if we were close, majority of them try to kill each other.
Mm-hmm.
So literally try to kill each other. I'm not joking about that. Like literally pointing guns at each other's faces, throwing Molotovs at each other's houses, and it's because like my grandma had 3 sets of kids by 3 different men, and I think 2 of them were severely violent and tried to kill her. So
It's just wild.
violence runs in my family,
Yeah.
and sexual assault as well. So
Of course, because the violence wasn't enough.
right, it's never enough. So yeah, dealt with that. So I guess after dealing with like my mom and stuff and dad, like nothing really fazed me. I think that the next stage now of my life is losing friends to death. I haven't lost anybody from COVID, thank goodness.
But thank goodness. Fingers crossed,
So,
right?
right, like thank goodness, hell, Satan, whatever, praise Jesus, Jeebus, whatever. But like,
Jeebus.
um,
Mm-hmm.
haven't lost anybody from COVID. I have friends that caught COVID, but I haven't lost anybody from COVID.
Right.
But the next stage of my life, since a lot of my friends are older than me, is losing close, dear friends.
I feel.
So, yeah. I think after that would be my sisters, and then and like my sisters, my brothers type of thing. Because
Right.
I'm the baby. In case something happens to me and they lose me before, but try not to think that
I
way.
hope not, Maki. I like
Shit, you
you.
never know. Like,
I
you
mean,
never know.
that's true.
Life is
That's
life.
true. You
Life,
could be dead tomorrow.
you never fucking know. You just never know. I've been learning how to not fear death,
Yeah.
but
It's hard.
but fear not living my full life to my potential. At least try. All this just taught me how life. I never really believed that life is short.
Kind of teaches you to value life, though.
Yeah, I don't really. I do see how life can be short, depending what kind of lifestyle you choose or just crazy circumstances. But I've learned how to value it and understand like what I'm scared about is being stagnant. I'm scared about being stagnant, being stuck where I am. So I
Same.
keep pushing and wanting to develop the things that I want to grow and develop. I still to this day am like busting my ass off a stream and trying to
Same.
brand myself outside of Twitch,
Same.
and so I can eventually build up the funds to support me and make an
Feel.
animation studio only for women
That'd be
and women
amazing.
of color.
That'd
So
be
they
fucking
don't
amazing.
have to feel threatened or feel like a man is in power over them or being groped or sexually assaulted or having
Right.
fucking their job over their head because somebody won't fuck somebody. Like,
Yeah.
I can't not achieve this dream. I have to get close to it, and it feels like I'm at a point in my life where I'm meeting the right people at the right time
That's amazing.
and being able to learn the things that I'm learning, but doing at my own pace.
Of course, you have to. You can't rush. You can't rush perfection. You can't rush your success either, as much
Nope.
as you want to sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
you know that I'm like trying to push hard for next year for my own stuff here. Like,
You inspired me. I want to
Like-
be partner in the next 2 years.
yeah. Honestly, I don't know if we'll get partner next year, but like, fuck it. I want to let people know that that's what I want. I want to
Right.
make this my full time, honestly. And like,
But
I
I
don't,
know-
you don't have to be
that-
partner to make it my full time, but like, if that happens along the way, awesome.
Right. I
Yeah.
feel like with Twitch, there's a lot of. I'm not sure if you've been keeping up with a lot of the stuff behind the scenes with Twitch,
A
but
little bit. What's up?
just been seeing a lot of people who are partnered are not getting the amount of it, not only the support nor funding that they're supposed to get from Twitch. Some people are having issues from getting paid out, and apparently is this predicted that it's going to have more issues of people getting paid out in the future. So
Yeah.
I'll send you some things
Please.
to look at. Um, right now, the competitor is not YouTube. It could possibly be Discord.
That's hilarious. I have heard about that though.
Because Discord is planning to is willing not willing but it's trying to plan to pay out people who use their services and people that subscribe to pay streamers or content creators on Discord at least 90 to 10%. Like they get 10%, you get 90. And I'm just like, oh,
How would they do
okay.
that?
Like just
Be pretty
I'll
cool.
send you some things. I'll send you some things.
Yeah, so many things. Let's talk.
Yeah, so
Let's talk gravy. Let's talk shop. So you call it.
so
We got a
I'm
VC
not,
afterwards offline. Anyway, so
yeah. So after once I get my TikTok stuff going and my
Yeah.
YouTube stuff going, I need to start getting like my Discord more organized and more cleaned up too. So
Feel
you
free to use
gotta,
mine as a inspiration if it helps.
of course.
I've culled my Discord so much, so I'm pretty happy it's where it's at right now.
Nice. Yeah, I need help with mine. Mine's just like really slow and quiet.
Do you want me to check it out once sometime?
Okay. I would like your feedback on what to
I'll do
improve.
that. Hey, Miss Mango.
Hey Mango, how you doing, darling? But
Okay.
but it's a journey. It's a lonely journey.
Yeah.
I've lost a lot, but I've gained a lot.
I feel that.
I gained a lot of love. I gained a lot of support. I've gained healing. Like when my mom, when it was her birthday, the month of her birthday of 2020, I literally cried all month. Cried all month except the day of her birthday. I was fine. Like I cried so bad my face swelled up.
Yeah, I believe it. What month
So I've done
was this?
it was June. She was a
Yeah.
Cancer.
Okay.
She was a Cancer. She was a pain in my ass,
Yeah.
but I cried so hard. I could not stop crying. And I've been reading books. So some resources that I have for you guys is some books that I've been working through, and I'm still not
Let's have it.
read them all. But hold on.
Hell yeah. Let's see it.
So The Body Keeps the Score is a good one. The Complex PTSD Tech Workbook. Let's see. Women with Attention Deficit Disorder for people with have ADHD. Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving. That's an audiobook, and that one is really intense. And I'm still taking it in doses. It's an audible. There's a reading. It's a book, and it's also an audio book for it. I'm at 19% because the shit is really heavy. The book Motherless Daughters is a really good book for those who are still processing not having a mother. And this conversation that goes in the fact of either losing your mom at a very young age. It goes through women who lost their mothers at a very young age. This book goes through women who mothers that had dementia, mothers who had that was very abusive and neglectful, and learning how to be okay with the grief, because you're grieving for the mother or father you did not have.
Any other books? I'm doing a command here.
That's all I got for right now.
Okay. I added it. It's Maki Books.
So I just FYI, I haven't gone through all of these books, but these are some good starts to help you process, especially when it comes to grieving. And be mindful what type of groups that you join.
Absolutely.
I would say always seek a grief therapist or see a therapist. Do something one-on-one. I try to do grief therapy as a group and I fucking hated it. It just made me angry. It kept making me angry instead of like helping me process things, because a lot of the women inside the group all lost their mothers because some of them had like bad mothers, but a lot of them kept sharing how amazing their mothers were, and I'm just like, I didn't
Yeah.
have that fucking relationship. Get the fuck out of here. And like, it just made me more mad. So do what's right for you.
Right.
Don't let people convince you otherwise. Do what's best for you when it comes to finding the right therapist.
Yeah.
And grief is not linear. Grievance is a roller coaster,
Yep. It is.
and it will come in waves. Some days it will be a lot easier. Some days will be harder. Some days you'll be fine and you can look back and be like, you can have complete detachment over it. And then some days some things hit you and you just can't help but cry. Allow yourself to feel the feelings. It's okay. It's okay.
What's the best thing you think to say to someone who's grieving?
Fuck, that's a good one.
I have a good couple answers from the past couple weeks, honestly.
It's not your fault. And take time to process your feelings at your time.
Yeah. Do it on your time, no one else's.
Yeah, and if you got people who are bitching at you for being upset about stuff and blah blah blah, like you should get over it. It's been like 2 to 3 years. It's been like no,
Fuck off.
they can fuck off.
Grief is a lifetime process.
Yeah, and that shows you that they haven't lost anybody or never processed their own shit. And
Most
those are
likely
not
the
good
second.
friends.
Yeah, most likely the second. They're not good friends because they're not gonna empathize with that kind of thing.
No. So, like, I'm still talking to my therapist about a lot of the trauma that my mom left me, and she's gone.
Yeah.
I've gotten to a point where I've forgiven my mom, but it doesn't take away the trauma that she left me. And I can still be pissed off and angry about that shit and still have feelings and emotions about it, and it's okay.
Absolutely,
Look,
it is.
I love the shit out of my mom.
Yeah.
And I still love her to this day.
Yeah.
But I hated her as a human being. I wouldn't say hate, but I hated the habits she had as a human being.
Right.
I feel sorry for her that the fact that she didn't get the support she needed to heal, get the support that she needed as a woman of color, or the resources that she could have really had to help her. I'm more pissed at our society. I'm more pissed at this fucking country and how disgusting and insidious it is.
Yep.
Because they failed my mom.
They did.
So
It's true.
So that's why I fight to be better.
Absolutely.
And I'm an advocate for those women who don't want to have kids. Because why would I want to bring a kid into this shitty world?
Deadass,
And then have them have their issues. And like, nah, man. No. That's why I put all my energy in what I'm doing now.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a good fucking way to go about it.
So.
Because you control it.
Yep. Oh, you're clipping the paws, clipping the nails.
Yeah.
Is she a he or she? Fuck,
He.
I'm sorry.
Cats don't gender, though.
Yeah.
He's been bothering me for like the past hour now.
He's like, clip my nails.
I don't know. I don't think he wants this, actually. He's just been
He's
bothering
very
me.
calm.
I feel like he's wanted food or something. Well, he's calm because I have him on his back here.
Shrimp will flip the fuck out. Like Shrimp does not. I have to like pin her
Well,
down, cut her nails.
Sky literally trusts me with his life. Like, I'm pretty sure he imprinted on me.
Aw.
It's funny that my closed captions corrects Sky as Skylar. Don't bite me, because we sometimes call him Skylar in like a
That's
taunting
cute.
way.
That's cute.
Yeah.
He's like,
Okay.
all right, I'm done. He's like, all right, I'm
He's
done.
like, no, you're gonna hurt me.
Yeah, Shrimp is over here.
I don't know what he
being a
wants.
short
Frankie
little
fed him.
He
He's
probably
just
wants
being mad
attention.
annoying. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
he just wants love. He wants daddy's love.
It's like this morning I heard Into the West in my playlist, thought of my grandmother, a cry just hit me. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it just hits you, man.
Yeah.
It just fucking hits you. Alright. I don't know what he wants, but
Do you guys have any questions for me?
thank you for being on.
Of course.
Yeah, chat, do you have any questions for Maki before we take a little break and then we'll go to turn? Please don't eat that. Please fuck off. Go away.
Oh, what's up, Capsule?
Hey, Capsule. Welcome in.
Oh, that's adorable!
What? What?
The pawing on the nose. That was adorable.
Oh, yeah, right. Stream is behind.
That was so cute.
I don't know what that was about. I think he's very needy.
Yeah, he just probably wants to play
He's
and
like,
wants your attention.
Dad! He
He's
can hit me really hard if he wanted to.
That was just like, I should clip that. That was really adorable.
I was being attacked.
That was super adorable. Fuck it, I'm gonna clip it. Fuck it.
Just out
I'll
here
wait for
being
enough
attacked. Yeah,
time.
clip it. I don't care. Listen, clips are great because I can put it on YouTube as shorts. I'm getting rid of the shorts channel, by the way. Sorry. I'm just going to put it on my main and say fuck it and focus on one channel. And Waba VODs is kind of becoming obsolete slowly. So, what you going to do? Anyway.
That was
All right.
That was so cute.
As you were. I have to go grab water and I have to go heat up food a little bit and then eat off screen. But yeah, Maki, thank you so much for being a guest
Of course.
tonight and talking about
Thank you
this.
for having me.
Hell yeah. I am Maki. I'm just telling you, I'm literally free all this week. So I'm gonna be hitting you up like tomorrow morning and be like, what are you doing?
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go like drag in a VC if you're free, obviously.
I'll be streaming in the morning.
Yeah.
I'll be streaming between 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I'll be down to chat after.
I didn't hear you at all. Just want you to know.
Oh,
I just heard. Can you give me? Boo? And I was like, here's the clippers.
Aw, thank you, Jeffrey.
He was mad because Angel's hogging the food. He's always mad about that.
But yeah, I'll be free tomorrow because I stream between 11 a.m. to I think 5 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, so.
Oh, 11 Pacific, so you're gonna be free in the morning.
Yeah,
If theoretically, if you're awake.
Yeah, I get up late like now. Like I try to get up at 8, but then like I literally just I wake up.
You think
at,
8
like,
is late? Oh God.
No, I wake up at like 8ish, and then I'm on my phone till like 9, and then I
Feel ya.
start getting ready. So.
Oh my God, I love these. I'll check out these clips in a minute.
Just like boop 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 boop. Just like it's just so cute.
I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
And it was adorable.
Oh my God.
So adorable.
All right.
But yeah, have me back anytime. Especially with certain topics. I'm
Oh,
down
I
to
will.
talk about it.
We're gonna talk on certain topics tomorrow as well. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome sauce. I'm not sure if you want me to exit out for right now or.
Turn, you want to come in? I think you can pretty much jump into this VC because you're mod. Next month is sexuality, gender and sexuality.
Ooh, that's a topic.
Want to talk about being gay? Or do you want to talk about shitty abusive relationships in March?
shitty abusive relationships in March.
Yeah, gotcha. I thought so. That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah, you know me.
I got Frienden down for March as well.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, very excited.
Let's go.
There's no one gay on the internet, right? Yeah, I know, right?
Oh my god.
Miss Mango, you want to come on? You want to come on Mental Health Monday sometime? I know you're like early morning bored, so. All right. Turn, come in here and distract everyone.
All right, guys. I love you. Bye.
Love you, Maki. Bye.
And we will chat soon. All right.
Chat
bye.
soon. Bye. Hello.
Oh, why am I distracting everybody?
Because I have to go heat up food and fill my water.
Oh, fuck you. Why are you leaving me with all the children?
Entertain people.
I can't entertain people.
Tell a riveting story about you and the
riveting
boys
story
at 3 a.m.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll be right
A
back.
riveting story. I guess I can tell a riveting story. Let me think of a riveting story that would rivet you. Riveting. Stories that are riveting. Very riveting story. Story that is riveting. Fuck. I'm trying to think of a good one because I've told a lot of stories already. Don't want to repeat myself on this damn channel. Oh, I've got a good one. You cannot see my beautiful face. No. Fuck you, Jeff. That's a privilege about only 3 to 4 people get. Anyway, time to talk about the toilet buster, and it's not as disgusting as you think it is. One beauteous Halloween, about 5 years ago, me and my delinquent idiot friends decided to go to what was called the Ghost Estate here around where I live. And it's only called a Ghost Estate because all of the houses are empty and it's full of crackheads and homeless people, which is rarity, but they're still there. And we found one of the houses that had the door busted down, so it was kind of broken in, and we decided, explore. Time to wreak havoc and be little stupid dum poopy heads. We go in there, and we walk upstairs, and there's this bathroom, right? And it's suspiciously clean. Like, everything else is disgustingly, like, dirty, covered in fucking mold. But this toilet looks like it was on the upstairs section of fucking Home Depot. It's like it was polished. This shit was clean as hell. So we were confident that the toilet was cursed or something. So we decided we have to get rid of the bad juju of the toilet. So we loaded it up with about 14 black cats and lit them all on fire. The toilet then combusted, sending ceramic everywhere. We nearly died. That's one story. It was stupid. Because the thing is, that could have gone a lot worse. The walls weren't exactly strong walls. You know, because it's an old, moldy, crusty house. So shit went through the walls. Luckily for us, nobody got hurt. The only thing that hurt were my ears because I didn't cover them. I don't have tinnitus though, but you know, could have done. Wouldn't have been very awesome, not very swag. Yeah, that's one thing. That was fun. What? There was no cats. There was no cats in the house. It was an old ass house that was just in the middle of this place that was uninhabited. Why would I blow up my own toilet? Jeff, what the fuck?
To be fair, you said you lit up 14 cats.
No, black cats are a type of firework. You dork.
Oh.
Yeah.
Carry on.
They're like angrier firecrackers. Angrier firecrackers, like
Are you an angry or firecracker?
I'm not an angry or firecracker, sir.
All right, you're an Irish cracker. Sorry, that can get me banned on Twitch now.
Yeah. I ain't no cracker.
Hashtag ban me, motherfuckers.
You think I lit 14 cats on fire in a toilet?
Yes.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yes.
Why would I do that? Cats are like the one thing that I hold dear on this world.
No, Jeffrey.
What you eating?
No.
I seen it in the Tupperware. I seen it.
No.
I seen it.
See, me and Jeffrey thought the same thing. It's
Yes, everybody knows that black cats are naturally explosive when lit on fire.
it's a steak, pepper onion sandwich from a pizzeria.
Snagwich. Snammage. You got the peppers in there? You get the pepper over there. You got the damn pepper.
Tell another riveting story while I finish my food.
Why do you people want my fucking stories? It's hard to.
Story or face? Story or face?
This. Fuck you. You're not seeing me. That's for another time. I'd have to get a haircut before I'd even want people to see me IRL. Goddamn. What's a good one? This is hard because you're putting me on the spot. Oh shit! I can tell you one from last night. Oh yeah. Fuck. About this. So we went out. Me and my friends. We hadn't seen each other for literally years. These good two guys. We're having a grand old time. A lovely get together with all the homies, like a reunion. It was fantastic. It was great fun. And once we were drinking, some like middle-aged dude sat behind us on a table and started talking to us. He didn't speak a word of English, right? He was Polish. He only spoke Polish. So hardly anybody understood him. And he was just saying shit expecting us to talk to him. My friend Matthew somehow got into a conversation with him. And he continuously kept repeating himself over and over about how his girlfriend left him for a woman. And every time he would end the sentence, it would be like, but yeah, that's just because my girlfriend left me because she's a lesbian. And it got to the point where he learned the word lesbian. And every time the word lesbian was said, this random old ass dude would just start pissing himself laughing in the corner. But it got weird because we all started standing up because it got a bit cold. We were sitting outside. And this dude stood up and for some reason he just wouldn't fuck off. And he kept nudging and talking to people and acting like we'd known him for years. And he grabbed Matthew's ass. The immediate reaction from everybody at the table was like, oh no, sir. Oh. Michael's getting a bit gropey. And he didn't do it once. See, he did it 3 times. But then eventually, we just stopped talking to him and engaging with him.
How did you not
because he was absolutely piss drunk. And I knew it wasn't fucking worth it because he'd fuck off eventually, which he did. He did fuck off. And then we went home. But we ended up seeing him outside and he just stared at us for like 5 minutes and walked away once we were getting a ride home. It was weird. It was very weird. Didn't ruin the night at all though. That's just a funny story. Still had fun. We all came back to my place and drank Prosecco. Like classy bitches. Yeah. Eat the damn food faster, you motherfucker.
I'm munching. I'm almost done.
Gotta start.
It's ad break time anyway.
Ad break?
Yeah, I'm gonna click a button, and then you're gonna tell us what the meaning of life is. Ready? 3, 2, 1. What's the meaning of life?
Beans. The meaning of life is to find meaning.
True.
The meaning of life is not a linear thing. It is individual to every person. Your journey of self-discovery is the thing that leads you to finding what that path is. Such is the glorious
The
world.
meaning of life is to put up Turn's face.
Oh, fuck off. No. Stop. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get that shit out of here. Waba, no, Waba. Stop it. Stop it, Waba. Waba.
Yeah, stop it or what?
Stop it, Waba. Get that out of here. Get that out of here.
Why?
You're a dingus.
The glorious turnip boy.
You're a dingus.
Mm-hmm.
My fat cheeks. Gross. Ew, grody.
Alright, I can make you thicker. How about that?
Oh, stop. Stop. Criminal. Mid-revelation.
Beans are pretty
I
good,
look
though.
pretty mid in that photo, not gonna lie. Fucking mid.
Alright. Ah! Hello.
Ooh,
Ah.
howdy.
I have beard particles. Because when you eat and you have a beard, you get shit in your beard. Did you know?
Beard follicles. The follicles. Oh,
No, I have
God.
Beard particles. Food
I
particles.
did. I thought you said follicles.
No.
Why are your follicles falling out?
Hello, turnip boy.
Hello.
Hello, Ed boy.
Hello,
Oh my
Ed boy.
god,
Many
GeForce
doors,
game
yeah.
driver ready available. I don't care. Oh. So how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You know,
Good.
it's coming close to Christmas. Everything's starting to get, more jolly.
Mm-hmm.
Family's over. Back home in the spawn point.
How's that?
In the center of the universe.
Let's see.
The void has slowly gotten smaller, however, but we'll fix that eventually.
You should get
I'll
that
need Maury's
patched up.
help with that, but whatever. I'll just bribe her with some pizza. Easy.
Barbers with some catnip.
Yeah. I already told you about the charity drive stuff. That went very good.
Yes, you did. Very excited for you.
We raised a good bit of money for the Irish Heart Foundation
Hell
for
yeah.
cardiovascular related diseases and
Oh,
cardiovascular and
that reminds
respiratory
me.
cancer.
I have a secret charity coming up for the new year.
Ooh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm
No
excited
details.
for this.
No details
You
just
know,
yet.
it'll be a good idea for that.
Yeah.
To raise money. One shot D&D.
Ooh.
One shot for charity.
Yep. All right.
Mhm.
That sounds great. Yeah. It's a charity for victims of abuse.
Ooh, okay, then I'm
domestic
definitely gonna be
violence,
there.
sexual, etc.
Not that
Yeah.
I've been a subject of abuse. It's a matter of
No,
passionate
morals, ethics.
for advocation against.
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna have. Oh man, we could tell quite a story with D&D.
Yeah, we definitely could.
Ooh, fuck. Now I'm thinking
If
thematic
you
stuff.
DM and I just follow along, I could do some fucking pretty banging story writing. Not gonna lie.
Honestly, me
I'm
and
a
Crazy is
creative
team
bitch.
tagged for the one shots the past couple weeks with the VTubers and the real life people.
Sweet.
It was really great. I love one shots. I love D&D.
One shots are fun because it's on the spot creativity, and I love that shit.
Yeah, literally.
Mhm.
Literally. I already have my wheels turning. So, welcome to Mental Health Monday. Hi, everyone. Welcome to section 2 of Mental Health Monday, interview 2. This is one of my lovely mods and best mates.
I'm me.
Poconosis.
I'm kind of balling. I'm sitting here.
Yeah, you're balling.
Some of you might remember me from being a goon in the chat, or being a dumbass on the
our
Discord.
playthrough on youtube.com of Dragon Quest IX. Go watch it. All the playlist
Oh
is
yeah,
up.
me fangirling on Dragon Quest IX as I remember
We
where
gotta
everything and
record more.
anything is.
I
Yeah, we
know.
do. Okay, listen, Waba, you fucking told me this.
People get
We'll
busy.
do it. Okay, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I know. We're just busy. Literally, that's how I'm gonna introduce the next section. It's just like, yeah, we've been busy.
We got busy. Y'all can be fucking patient.
Yeah, we have a couple of fans on the playthrough as well, so I'm sure.
I
they'll be
know.
excited.
I'm so happy that it's somewhat successful. It's great.
Very happy about it.
Bro, if they didn't even get any views, I'd still record them because I just love playing
Oh
Dragon
hell yeah!
Quest.
I don't care. Yeah,
Heck yeah.
absolutely.
Fun,
Alright,
fun.
So
Oh, Gherkin.
we're talking about grief and loss, and you said you wanted to share your experiences with this.
Well, not only experience, but at least discuss what grief and loss is generally.
Sure.
And
yeah.
understand some things about grief and loss because it's something that I've looked into a lot for when I was doing my bachelor. So that's one of the things that I liked quite a lot next to development, which was grief and loss counseling and mental health, which is something that's very prevalent here is mental health. So as you all know, believe it or not, guys, it is called Mental Health Monday. We do actually talk about mental health. Ooh, quinky dink. I know, it's crazy. But, yeah, grief and loss. Complicated thing. And, it's something that people don't realize is a lot more complicated than just sadness. Is that grief is more of an umbrella term for 3 stages, which also contains one of them being grief, which would be bereavement, grief, and mourning.
Really?
So we all know, yeah. So I'll give you an idea of it. So what do you know what bereavement is?
I think I do, but
Well, I'll just say it anyway.
fresh.
So bereavement is the experience of having someone close to you die or losing something that has an emotional attachment to you in a short span of time.
Oh, by the
So
way, for those
bereavement
watching
is-
at home, this is Sticky. He very
Aw.
rarely gives me affection. He's usually quite sharp and large and heavy, and he gained fucking weight. He's like 18 pounds now or some shit.
So this is a rare
16.
occurrence.
This is a very rare occurrence. He,
This
like,
is a
almost
privilege
never comes
for
up
all
to
of
me.
you watching right now, right?
Yeah,
You're
he
just
like
getting to see this
never comes up to
thick
me like this. This is our roommate's cat, so he rarely gets like a little very extra cuddly.
Look at
and
his
needs
little
some love.
face.
I know.
It's a beautiful
Very pretty.
boy.
Anyway, go on. Bereavement.
So bereavement. It's the experience of having someone close to you die. So that's an initial stage of grief. It's the first one you go through. It's the shock factor. So bereavement is not what you would talk about when you're referring to denial and hysteria beforehand, like what Maki had mentioned.
Like shock.
That's more of a building into bereavement. Bereavement is the realization, and it hits you. So when that large weight that generates into your chest and your stomach after you've lost something, that is the feeling of bereavement. And bereavement can last a few days. If it lasts more than that, then you actually have something to... it's sort of a grieving disorder, which is coming from stress as a result of bereavement. But when it lasts more than a week, it's considered grief, but it's severe. So it can be categorized as even a grieving disorder, which DSM-5 kind of labels as depression. Yeah, DSM-5 labels it as depressive,
Right.
but I think it's more complicated than that.
It's a lot more
And
complicated.
it needs to have a lot of deeper look into it than what they've given it the respect of, which is fuck all. And then, so
I think it's
after
completely
bereavement,
ridiculous to
Yeah,
be like,
exactly.
oh well, after a week it shouldn't keep hitting you. And it's like, nah, man. Everyone processes that shit differently. Death can be traumatic. You know?
So after bereavement, because bereavement is very simple to explain. It's the initial sadness. Like if you've ever watched a movie, somebody dies in front of them, they break down crying and they start screaming and shit. That's bereavement. It could be an intense bereavement. It can just be like watching someone pass away in their bed,
Someone clip that,
and you
by the
could
way.
be ready for bereavement.
We're just gonna mark her.
You fluffing. He's shaking.
Potential emote. Anyway.
Yeah. Another zoomy cat. Another cat void. Let's go. Burr. Cat go burr. But
Yeah, mark.
grief, which is what's in the title of this.
Yeah.
So let's define grief like this. Grief is a price, right? Grief is a price that we pay for love and a natural consequence of forming emotional bonds to people, projects, and passions and possessions. All that we value, we will someday lose, and that is the price of existence. That is where grief comes from. So grief is in every aspect of life. It can be employment, it can be friendship, it can be familial. You can grieve the loss of an inanimate object.
Absolutely.
So every form of attachment that you form will be followed by grief when that thing is not there.
Right. Makes
No
sense.
matter how small it is. Say you you made a little piece of art and then you ruined it. You'll feel bad for a second and then you'll get over it really quick. That's just a, minor grieving experience. That's where grief comes from. And it is what grief could be seen as well, is a person's reaction to the aforementioned bereavement. So the way that people,
So grief is the processing, basically.
it's the process after bereavement by which a person goes through, strengthening themselves, interpreting and understanding what's happened, and starting that long, horrible journey towards acceptance and overcoming.
Ow!
And it's
Bro.
hard. And
Bro.
grief interlines with mourning. And mourning is the third factor towards what we would look at as grief. And mourning is strange because it's not a period. Mourning is not a period. Grief is the period and bereavement is the period. Mourning is actually the cultural norms about how we express grief.
Oh,
Mourning-
so this is you're defining this in like a societal type of
Yes,
way.
absolutely. Mourning is different everywhere.
Right.
We can see that through ritual. People have different funeral rituals. Some people don't even have funeral rituals. Some people don't even grieve the same way as other people. Some people completely ignore it happened and then move on, which is unhealthy. But it happens. It's sort of a strength factor that some societies need because you have to be strong. You can't show emotion. Which that was mentioned before, I believe, as well.
Yeah, I cried.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what the fuck? How the fuck are black women so fucking strong and grieving like this?
But they have to do it because of their environment. That's where the whole cultural normality of mourning comes from. So that's why mourning isn't a period, it's rather, as I said, the cultural norm about how we express grief and bereavement. It's an interesting thing because we can even see how mourning is proof through history. Different burial sites. Like, let's compare. You ever hear of Newgrange here in Ireland? It's an ancient burial site. It's basically a big mound, and they dug tunnels underneath where they put all these gold vases and stuff, and they buried a dude in there. So they believed in digging it down into the soil. In comparison to Egypt, where they coffined and lined a hole with stone and then put people inside. Different rituals like that are part of mourning, and they're designed to help particular people grieve. It's the whole process of doing it because funerals, the whole reason you go to a funeral now is, to bury somebody and put them away after they've passed away. That's a big part of moving on. And that's how mourning goes. And that's different everywhere. Oh, I'm dying. Excuse me.
Same.
I'm a bit tired. It is 3:29 in the morning.
Yeah, Sticky jumped off from me, and his fur is everywhere, and I'm a bit allergic.
Ooh, the sticky. Oh, boy. But there's actually some really interesting thing about grief and bereavement.
Mhm.
Is that so? It's not even an argument to say that everybody experiences grief, bereavement, and loss. Doesn't even matter if they don't have emotions. That's just they will experience loss and they will experience grief. There's no discussion to it. It's a natural process that everybody undergoes. But the biggest factor about it all as well is that age is a huge thing for grief.
Right.
Older people, in comparison to younger people, have experienced bereavement and grief way more than us. And that is easy to understand because they've been alive longer. So they've had more people come and go. They've had more things come and go. I'll give you an idea. So, here I am about to do some APA bullshit. So people, forgive me. I need my references. Williams in 2007 did a massive cross-sectional study on 839 participants in the Alabama Medicaid. All of them over 65 years of age. And it showed that 77% of them experienced bereavement and loss in a high percentage. So that shows how, like, realistically most people go through it eventually or end up when they pass away going through the loss of their own life, which is still a bereaving moment.
I mean, that's a way that people do experience grief because they have to grieve for themselves in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's stupid interesting how grief is different everywhere else. And the understanding of grief processes is something that is also extremely difficult. It's like complex. So like a lot of grieving processes is sadness and yearning, like being preoccupied with the person. Like you get upset, and like you can even get anger, like feel anger or massive moments of disbelief. Like even though you know they're dead, like even a whole week afterwards, you might just like deny it to yourself. Some people really do get in a rut like that.
Certainly.
And we can't even say how long it will go for. Like on average, loss does actually affect people up to 1 to 2 years. And even then, some people never recover. Like, so we'll bring the element of tragedy towards grief. Parents who lose a child will grieve an incredible amount longer than somebody who loses a grandfather, because
of course,
with a younger death comes a greater tragedy. So a parent who loses a child could probably never recover, but a child who loses a grandparent, as horrible as it sounds, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, it's just how people are. Maybe a few years, maybe 1 or 2 years, like the average like proposes, will not per se, oh, get over it and don't care. They'll move on because
they'll be able to
aged.
move on.
They'll be able to move on
a bit better. I mean, it's natural, and I like I unfortunately like the expression, the tiniest coffins are often the heaviest.
Yeah, no, that is honestly very true. But the one that we used was that the younger the wood, the harder the drop in the well. Because like seeing right, this is going a little bit off topic from grief, but at the same time it still is because it was referenced before.
Cultural.
So I'm going to be talking about suicide, just letting anybody know.
Sure.
Is that so this is an actual statistic, so we'll give you an idea how this is proposed in society. Is that did you know that 60% of suicides actually happen to people over the age of 60?
Yeah.
In Europe.
Yeah.
but
That doesn't
all,
surprise me.
if not most, advocacy goes towards the younger generation.
That's true. Yeah.
That is a example of how tragedy plays an effect in how grief and horror can manifest in our world.
Yeah, because we don't really
So,
think of
yeah.
people committing suicide as being older. We just think of it as like, oh, the young, angsty teenager, college age person.
Mhm. And when older people die, you're like, it was coming anyway.
No, they're
As
older.
like that sounds
Yeah.
a little bit fucked, but it is how people look at it.
Yeah.
They will see like older people dying as expected
No
because
one
they're
blinks
old.
an eye. Right, exactly.
Mhm. It's fucked. It really is fucked.
That
It's
is
really
fucked.
strange when people work that way. But something else that society does not really recognize does not really want to address as well is how people need time to bereave and to grieve. So we'll use some Irish examples here. So what's your final high school exam? It's like the SATs, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we have the
accurate.
thing called the Leaving Cert, which is like hell compared to your SATs. And I don't mean it as in like, oh, we're all geniuses. I mean, it's an unfair thing that is absolutely disgusting, and it really fucks with people's heads.
Oof.
So,
Sounds awful.
a young girl called Rona Butler was doing her Leaving Cert, and her mother died. And the Board of Education forced her to sit her exams the same day her mother died, and the next day,
so
and the
fucked.
next day. She took about 3 exams that week after her mother had died. Didn't even get the opportunity to process her mother's death.
Yeah.
So after she had so much stress of doing her exams, she broke the fuck down and had like an even worse episode because of the build-up, because she didn't do good in her exams because of the
Sure.
stress of her mother passing away, which is disgustingly unfair. After she had all that stress of feeling inadequate because she didn't like make her mom and dad proud after she did her exams, she had a panic attack.
Yeah.
And she had repetitive panic attacks for the next few weeks.
I'm sure.
So the Minister of Education has changed the rules now, so students can get 3 days, only 3 days off
3 days for
to
bereavement?
do exams. Yep, they get 3 days off. And they can do the exams the next month.
Bruh.
But the bereavement has to be of a close family member. So if you lose a friend, if a friend of yours dies, you're still going to do those exams.
Yeah, that sounds like the fucking bereavement policies they have at like my work or whatever.
Oh,
Where it's
but
like,
you
I think
you have a bereavement policy at your workplace.
I do.
In
I
Ireland,
think it's state workers, right? I could probably look it up, but I'm pretty sure
in
it's like 2
Ireland,
weeks.
there is no statutory requirement to provide bereavement leave, and in general, employers will give about 3 to 5 days paid leave, but a lot of them don't because they are not obligated to.
That's fucked.
So, yep,
That's so
absolutely. So if you have a moral employer who's a good person, they will probably give you a fucking long time off. So that whole system is based off of the generosity and moral kindness of your employer. So if you've got a dickhead boss and your like family member dies or a friend of yours dies, don't even think about
I
not going
couldn't
into work
trust
the next day.
that. I couldn't
Don't even
trust
go
that at
into
all.
work. Because if you don't go to work, they're gonna question you. They're going to take away your pay. They're not going to pay you for the day. You've missed out on money. And if you do it more than once, they'll fire you, which
Right.
is a lot of places do.
No call, no shows.
And absolute bullshit. It's not fair, but that's just how it is. Businesses have their own way of managing that shit.
Well, they have their bottom line to fucking worry about. They don't care about people. They just care about the money. They're running a business, and they don't care.
Yeah. It's normally the big businesses that do that, by the way. So locally owned businesses don't have that
absolutely.
issue. You see a lot of local businesses engaging in like practices that will get them to lose their own like money. But they're doing it because they're fucking human beings. They're not like a big conglomerate who's trying to harvest the very monetary
It's, I
value
mean,
of human life and
big
employment.
conglomerates always abuse their workers. This is just one other way that they fucking abuse and enslave their workers. Like,
it's an
shit's
unfortunate part of the world.
Yeah. Agreed.
But I feel
Mhm.
that there could be a development to help that in most developed, we'll use a better term, more developed countries
Sure.
in the northern hemisphere, to be fair, and like
Sure.
places like Australia and New Zealand, is that grief is considered to just be normal,
Yeah,
which is fine. Grief is normal,
it is.
but so is a lot of trauma as a result of different forms of abuse. It's not normal in the sense of, oh, whatever. It's normal as in, that's what happens.
Right.
Grief is not in the DSM at all. It's labeled underneath depressive disorders.
That's
Grief
true.
is a factor.
That
Grief
is
is
true.
only a factor. So it
That
does
is
not get full
unfortunately true.
acknowledgement whatsoever, which is actual bullshit because grief and bereavement fuck people up really bad.
It does. And it's more than
And
just
I feel
depression.
as though that it was recognized by DSM.
Mm.
Grief can be pulled to be you, not like, oh, I'm pulling a grief card. My mum died. I'm not going to work for a year. No, I mean as in, it can be used in a correct manner to give people the needed and allocated time off of their employment without the risk of them being fired
Yeah.
under law and protection of union, so that they can look after their mental health, grieve correctly, and like hopefully progress as people instead of having to live with these like traumas and incidents backing up in the back of their head and making life fucking torment for them.
Right. God, I hate to tell you something even more fucked. So we're
Go
on
on.
DSM-5, yeah? We've been for a while.
Mhm.
Most systems around here that I've worked with, that I literally have like seen their paperwork of, they're still working off of DSM-4, but ironically, insurance bills off of the ICD, whatever it's called, 10, like the latest one, obviously. And it's so annoying, and it makes it just so much worse for a lot of different things.
Why would they use outdated material?
Because they have outdated systems, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
Oh,
but,
well, they just don't want to fucking make the change because it was cost them money.
Yep. So all their coding is DSM-4, but insurance billing is ICD-10. Which doesn't make any fucking sense.
Even
but
then,
it's-
the lack of DSM recognition makes people debate the fact that grief counseling can be useful.
Yeah.
Which I believe that it can be useful,
like,
but it needs to be developed.
Man, it's like a similar argument to like, why is being trans in the DSM? And the answer, unfortunately, is insurance. It's one of these like, you know, like catch-22s. Like, it's great that it's there, and like insurance will actually like fucking, you know, be billable, so you don't have to like pay out of pocket for surgeries and stuff, right? Or for like hormones necessarily. But
Yeah.
on the other hand, it also just fucking like can vilify, you know? So it's like, if you put grief in the DSM-5 or DSM-6 rather, you know, what is that gonna do? Are doctors just gonna start, like, doctors already treat people shitty enough, you know? They're just gonna be like, oh, you have a bit of grief here, have 6 weeks of fucking grief counseling, get over it. Like, you know, they're just thinking
More
prescriptive.
than a lot of other people do, even if it's not enough.
Yeah, it's better than nothing, but still, it's just
Isn't it
like,
just?
god damn. Can we teach some bedside manner first?
There's another quote that I can remember from
Yeah.
it's from a book called The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion.
Yeah.
And it's that grief turns out to be a place none of us know until we reach it, which is correct.
Very true.
Nor
Very true.
can we know ahead of the fact.
No, we can't.
And it's an unending absence that follows the void, the very opposite of meaning, the relentlessness of succession of moments during which we will confront the experience of meaningfulness
Yeah.
itself. Which to me is a powerful fucking statement
I
because
love that.
it's accurate to that.
It's very accurate.
It shows like, so the whole thing talks about how, as we had said before with my definition of grief
Mm-hmm.
and Williamson's as well, is that grief can be interpreted as the price we pay for attachment and love. And it's unavoidable in that way.
Right. I just thought of something.
Go on.
No, it's not the right place to say it.
I mean, I'm down for anything, bro.
Yeah, I'll withhold my comments.
Okie dokie. What else? I suppose we could talk more about personal grief now. We just went over all
Yeah.
of that.
I mean, you
That
did
was
like a
just-
whole educational teacher lesson. Hey, Conway,
Yeah, sorry.
how's it going? Welcome in.
It's
Welcome, mate.
that's just a lot of the basic information I know off the top of my head about grief. Like, I know a lot more intricate stuff, but that would just me be going like, oh yeah, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross in 1926, she was a psychiatrist, and she was also working with psychoanalytic school of thought, blah, 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 blah. Nobody wants to fucking hear that. Nobody, like, other people, maybe in an educational sense, yes, but not here, just for, like, conversation. But, yeah. I haven't had a horrible amount of loss, but I've had pretty bad losses. To say that. So I had a friend that I was close friends with ever since we were, like, conscious, when we magically poofed into reality with our sentience when we were children. They were always there. It was a girl named Mackenzie, and we had grown up together, and we were like thick as thieves, like inseparable. And
That's awesome.
we'd known each other for such a long time.
It's like one of your best
we
mates.
would do everything together. It was a very like spontaneous incident. So that one time, one day, out of nowhere, I get a phone call from her mother to tell me that she had had an aneurysm in the middle of the night and had died in her bed.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah, and it's moments like that that make me treasure every waking moment of my existence. You know?
Absolutely.
And that's why when we were talking about sudden death and stuff like that, and Maki had mentioned medical death being better because it's anticipated, it can be reasoned.
Right.
I can agree with that to an extent, but not to all of the extent, because something like an aneurysm, there's no reason behind it. It just happens. And it's so unbelievably unfair. They've done nothing wrong. They went to sleep that night after having a nice day, and then gone. Gone.
Jeez.
How that goes. But that's where my whole concept of grief sort of never going away is what it should be looked as, because grief doesn't get smaller, we get bigger. Our foundation expands. So say you have a big bubble and grief is a ball inside of that bubble. As you age and go on in life, that bubble expands and expands and expands with other things building around inside. And that little ball of grief becomes smaller inside of this big, vast bubble of life. That's what moving on is. Moving on is not destroying grief. Moving on is accepting grief is there and not letting it ruin everything else by giving yourself more space to live.
What other experiences have you had with grief yourself personally?
That's the big one, right?
Yeah.
That's the one that's fucky wucky. Like,
How'd you deal
both
with
of my
it?
dad's parents are gone.
Well,
Like, they
how'd you
passed
deal
away.
with your friend then?
Oh, see, that was a hard one. I was out of school for 3 months. I just didn't go in. I refused to.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't moping around and being sad. I kind of just went out and did things to,
Right.
like, more or less memorialize and integrate the memory into other parts of my life.
Right.
Like, example, playing the guitar. We used to do that. Going to that camping spot that I've told you about 110 times about. We used to be there all the time.
I love it.
Going to our old little jungle huts that we used to make, even though like there's no fucking jungle in this country. We just cut a big hole in the bush and called it a hut.
Hell yeah.
Go there sometimes, and there's flowers growing on it now because we sprayed seeds all over it.
That's fun.
They are covered in violets. Those sort of things. And it's not, to me, it's not very spiritual. I'm not a spiritual person, so to say. But it's sentiment. Those little
Sentimental.
things.
Yeah.
They make interpreting and moving with that sort of thing so much smoother because you can substitute the sadness from grief with like happy sadness instead of
Right.
focusing only on the loss, the fact that they're not there.
I've
More so,
Mhm.
this is what we used to do, and I remember how good it used to be, and I'd do anything to get it back. But then again, that's just how it is. It's how it's happened. And I can always come back and look at this little spot and remember those stories.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's a really nice way to remember your friend there,
Mm-hmm.
and like keep it on. You know, keep on the memory.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. I don't
Go
know. Because you were saying before about how like different cultures have different ways to grieve, and I already knew that. All right.
Yeah.
But I've heard before. I don't know if this is how true this is, and you can tell me. But I've heard before in Ireland, because you're in Ireland, that the way that people usually grieve is like they have a party. Is that the case?
Oh, you see, now, yes and no. See,
and no,
death is
right.
actually a really complicated thing in this country, right?
Hmm.
People here are obsessed with dying. And I
Obsessed
don't
with
mean that
dying.
as in they're worried about dying. It's a
Right.
matter of death is seen as such a natural process of life here
Oh,
that
okay.
it's worrisome to more or less close people. But you always, always, always hear about who's died
Right.
around where you live. Who's died that someone knows. And for God's sake, the radio stations have a weekly segment on a Sunday, because that's the holy day. Like, you know, Mass
Right.
is on a Sunday for Catholics.
Absolutely.
It's just, and Ireland's a prevalently Catholic country.
It is.
Have a little segment after the Angelus is said, which is when the bell rings on the cathedrals in this
Yep.
country. And they say who's passed away in your area. To remember them. And to
Wow.
tell you if there's funeral services going on so you can go and visit the family and give your condolences. Which is, to me, a good thing and a bad thing.
That's
It's a good thing
interesting.
because, you know, you could figure out that somebody's after passing away that you know, and you'd want to go check up on a friend of yours who is way closer to that person than you, you know?
Right.
But at the same time, I know if somebody close to me died like that again, I don't want 110 people in on top of me,
Yeah.
you know, after they heard it on the fucking radio, and now they're in my house being like, I'm so sorry for you. I don't want to hear it. Loads of people don't want to fucking hear it either. So that sort of thing, you know. But the whole party thing, it's not really a party, right? It's a gathering. It's different. There's no song and dance and people screaming and shouting. But, you know, people are jovial here regardless of the situation. So there'll be banter and there'll be laughing and they'll be eating food and that. But it's not like they're playing music and they're jigging about the spot. But they'll have a bit of food and they'll have a bit of drink. It's just like kind of like, you know, how at a wedding after the sermon you go to a service. But imagine the service didn't have any music and everybody was wearing black.
Right.
That's what a post serving would be.
I have a question follow up about the radio thing. Do you think that's helpful for folks to be kind of constantly reminded of like death is here, death is around us, like, hey, this person died and this person died? Do you think that's
Do
helpful
I think
for
it's
folks?
helpful to them
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they're
helpful.
notified of death all the time?
Yeah.
I think it kind of strengthens the core people as well. I'd say over here, a lot of people are way more desensitized to death than a lot of the rest of the world.
Right.
But not in the sense of, in a psycho sort of way, like, they wouldn't give a fuck if somebody died. It's a matter
No,
of
that's
hear
not
it
what I
and they'd
mean.
be
That's
like,
not what I mean at all. I mean, is being desensitized helpful to process their own grief? Say it's someone like they know.
ooh, that's actually good. I'd say yes and no, right? So I'd say
Yeah.
if you knew them and you knew them enough and you talk to them every now and
Right,
again,
right,
you
right.
hear that they die, right? You're not going to be tearing up. Like, so this is actually a recent example that kind of flew over my head because I've kind of been trying to ignore it a bit.
Sure.
But there was a car accident in my area called Cullifad. It's a small little region.
Right.
And a friend of mine and another friend who is more of an acquaintance of mine got in a horrible car accident in his sports car.
Right.
And his name was Brian Ginty, and the person driving was Adam Farrell. Brian Ginty died. He was 19 years of age. I'm 21. And Adam Farrell was airlifted away to a hospital by a helicopter and is still in ICU now, and we don't know if he's going to live or not.
Jeez.
But that sort of close, exposure to death through all of these notification and it being discussed all the time. When I heard about this, to be honest with you, I actually felt like I should have been sadder than I was. But I was told about it. I was like, oh fuck, that's horrible. But I wasn't sad. I was a matter of shit. No, that's a horrible thing to happen. I wasn't happy, obviously, but I wasn't bawling my eyes out in tears. I wasn't crying at all.
But you felt like maybe you should have.
Fuck. I know, but I feel like a lot of people are like that, but it's just so common. It's like generational, even because even the older people are the same. It's been
Absolutely,
like
it's generational. Do you feel like they're that you or older generations or folks that have like or have experienced and are experiencing and will experience this? Do you think that they're missing some sort of emotional piece?
Emotional sensitivity, but not peace
Yeah.
per se. Because I say people are very capable of handling death,
Right.
but they're not as sensitive and loomed towards death here as other places. And I'd say maybe that's for the better, because it helps people overcome incidents like that way faster. 'Cause
Sure.
I've had friends who have lost relatives over in the States, right? And they'd still feel really shit about it months afterwards.
Yeah.
My friend, he's a close friend of mine, Daniel, lost his mother 2 months afterwards, and he was back to normal. But
Damn.
that might have just been the way that we were always around for him, and that's another part of our cultural mourning.
Well, I think
that-
that's where the positive comes in, is because
That's where the positivity of notification
people
comes
because
from, when you
death
know
is no
about
longer a
it,
taboo. Because
Exactly.
it's big fucking taboo over here.
death is not a taboo. It's fucking normal to talk about death here.
Right. Here it's all like
So-
shush shush and like
Yeah,
tears and all that.
People hide away in different places like the States
Isolate.
and like Canada and that, and they'd be like, they'd grieve in our own peace, but we'll grieve together. We'll grieve in groups, and if that grievance involves going out for a pint with your friends,
Yeah.
so be it. That grievance means coming over to my house to the gaff and having a little party. Absolutely.
Getting that
And this is-
support and
it's such a
having
prevalent thing
people who
about-
get it, because that's
Yeah.
the thing, is that a lot of folks, like what we talked about the last couple weeks, is like a lot of folks felt really isolated and really alone when it came to the loss of folks close to them, or it came to the loss of anyone. They felt alone, they felt isolated, they felt like no one got them. Like our first Fine chap that was on here was literally like, yeah, no one fucking knew what to do with me. Also, thank you so much for the 2 heckin' months with the Prime. Prime subs are
But
stupid
here in
fucking
Ireland,
good.
we
Thank you
also
so
have a
much.
little bit of a complex, right? And this is a younger complex. Because all older people were like this, you know, don't show emotion, be a man, that sort of thing. But
Yeah.
here, um, Irish lads from like 18 up to 35 have a lad complex. The lads, right? The people that you are the closest to are your friends. Your family is a different story. You can talk to them about everything, but you passively do that, and you don't think about talking emotionally to your family because of the way you engage with your family here compared to other places. It's different sort of closeness. It's really weird. It's not how it is for me, but I've seen it with like 90% of people I know, like here in Ireland. But lads are always there for each other. It's like kind of like a bro code almost. It's that something happens and you're notified of it, you immediately go and try and see if they're alright. It's it's not even obligated. It's practically fucking mandatory. You're seen as a dickhead if you don't. Like check in on your friends. And I think that's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing because
Hell yeah. I love that. That's a good norm.
it's a supportive thing. And it makes me feel pretty great about it because it happens all the time. And I
Right.
see these lads doing it all the time. And you'd see these fellas and they'd be going out, right?
It's like a love
And
support
you'd look over at a table
squad,
of
you know?
lads.
Yeah.
And they're all big wide grins on their faces,
Aw.
clinking glasses out of each other, absolutely fucking hammered. And you wouldn't have even imagined that the fella sitting in the middle with the biggest smile on his face and a radiant glow from his personality was the one who's after losing his mother 2 weeks ago. That's how it happens here. It's not an unhealthy suppression, it's more facilitation with some form of joy and outlet.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, that's the thing here in the States, Turn, and you're probably aware of this, but really no one knows how to fucking talk to people when they lost someone. They're just like, oh, sorry for your loss, you know? Or
Yeah,
like,
I'm really good with death.
sorry,
Like,
it was good.
I'm completely capable to talk to people who've lost.
Same.
And I'm comfortable talking to people who've lost.
Absolutely.
And I mean that in a comforting way. Like, I don't mean it like, oh, I'm just so good at it. It's just,
No,
we
no, I
see
know
it
what you
all the
mean.
time. We're subjected to it so much. It's the
Right.
same with Scottish people and Welsh people, not
Yeah.
so much English people. It's a bit more taboo for the Bretons.
The Britons.
But
It's okay. It's
so
okay.
this
None of the
actually
Britons
no.
are awake right now to rebuke you that comment.
But it's
Or
been a
maybe they are.
thing.
Who
And they'll
knows?
probably argue with the term of Celt, but whatever.
Yeah.
So Celtic cultures, death was celebrated.
Yeah.
That's where it stemmed from.
Yeah, that's
People
what.
weren't buried underground. They were
Right.
laid to rest, and something was built atop of them.
Mm.
They're called cairns,
Yes.
tools,
I've seen them.
and it's a hill. It's a
Yes.
monument. It's a monument to the passing. That's where gravestones came from.
It's awesome.
Markings of death.
Right.
But the stone aspect of that came from both the Egyptians and from the Celts. Those two cultural factors prevailed into what our modern labeling of gravestones is. A stone marker that indicates passing away. But the whole idea of death being celebrated coming from the Celts is so here today in this country. Because back then they would throw a party and they would sing songs, light a big bonfire, and this would all happen after they had put the person to rest. And then they'd do their thing. And then the day afterwards, they'd have another dinner together to sign off the deal and say, you've passed away now, you've gone, you're doing whatever you're doing now. If you're religious, they're hoping for heaven. If you're agnostic, you're hoping for the best. That
Right.
sort of comfort.
I get that.
But then there's also a very morbid part to death and grief here, is that have you seen a dead body before?
Yes.
when was the first time you seen one? How young were you? I was 10.
That's a good question. I was not 10.
I was 10 years of age.
I was a bit older than. Well, I think I seen my aunt Sarah when she was dead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how old I was though. Either way, go on.
There is a thing called a removal, which is a part of our brain process, where people go
Right.
to the house where the person is dead, and the person is laid in their coffin, open,
Yeah.
and everybody comes and lays their hand on the body
Really.
to say goodbye.
Wow. That's powerful.
It is powerful, but that to me also shows our desensitization towards death and seeing death,
Right.
because people are exposed
Yeah.
to
See, the
literal
most.
corpses. I was exposed to a corpse when I was 10 years of age of a distant cousin. And we
Right.
were supposed to go in there, we were just supposed to lay our hand on their hands and then go. Ever since then, I've seen 9, which is a lot more than average,
Right.
worldwide. You don't see 9 dead bodies in your life now, do you?
Not
No, I mean,
typically. I'm sure.
and I mean in person. Like, there's some
Right.
fucking
Right.
freaks out there on the internet watching weird videos, but like,
Sure.
to each their own. But I think that
Man,
adds to
that's
the
wild
whole.
to me because like the most we have like anything close to that is just awake.
Yeah, awake
see
is a
them.
removal. Awake is a removal.
No. Here's people don't really touch the body. Like
Well,
it's
and
not
that's
really.
just an Irish thing, I suppose.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not. It's a very Christian thing here, as far as I know, as far as I'm aware. It's a very
Mm.
Christian thing to do. But I don't think people like you can request like a private showing with the body with like just the close family, but I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
there's like any touching of the body allowed really, because
Mm.
what they do is they like, they like embalm and like formaldehyde and like make him look puffed up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't know if there's any real touching of the body. So that's the first time
Yeah,
hearing about something like that.
it's very strange. It is very strange.
Strange,
But
but it's kind of helpful in a way.
it
It's
is.
like, hey,
It's
this
like
is real.
being able to embrace somebody for the last time you see them
Right.
after a long time,
Yeah.
It's like hugging your mother before she goes away for a few months. That
Yeah.
sort of thing.
I
It
gotcha.
helps you with the whole absence, being able for one last time, and then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Damn.
it's
Thank you.
interesting.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
It's fine.
Not
Kind of
really.
thing that
you
everybody really does.
I mean, thank you for coming on so late.
Oh no, I'm not tired at all. Sure, I went to sleep before this. Like,
Yeah.
I set an alarm.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm very tired right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Are you okay if we wrap up?
Oh, of course, absolutely.
All right. I'm sorry if I cut you off here.
You're all right.
Okay. I'm very tired, folks.
It's fine. You don't need to keep saying. It's okay.
We're gonna play the ender. All right. So say goodbye to YouTube. Before
Goodbye,
that,
YouTube.
chat. Do you have any questions for Turn? I'm gonna play the ender, though. Either way, right now. So let's go. Thank you so much for watching Mental Health Monday. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give the video a like, put a comment down below, and share it with a friend. If you want to catch it live, feel free to follow us on Twitch. The link is in the description below. As always, mental health is an open and ongoing discussion, so feel free to say hello and then, come talk with us about mental health. I love the topic, always talk about it. It's a chill atmosphere, it's a safe space. Sometimes we get a little chaos and chaotic, but it's still a safe space all the same. If you also enjoyed the guests and what they had to say, you can check out their content as well. I put their Twitch links in the description below. As for the rest of my socials, they're also down there. Twitter, Instagram, and the Discord if you want to join. As always, take care of yourself, do some self-care today, and be well. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.